I'm Christine Lisi with the latest on the James Harden saga. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski and Ramona Shelburne report the Rockets' front office is currently weighing best final trade offers from the Nets and 76ers for the star guard. Meantime, the Nets dealing with a distraction as well. Guard Kyrie Irving will miss a fifth straight game tonight against the Knicks for personal reasons. This is the NBA reviews a video circulating on social media of a maskless Irving at what appears to be a family event. ESPN NBA reporter Brian Windhorst.
Kyrie has made it very clear with his actions and some of his words that basketball is becoming less of a priority to him. And so knowing that, I think that has to inform the way the Nets and Durant look at this. And if I was considering having Kyrie on my team, that's the way I would have to look at it too.
Brian Windhorst on Barton Hahn. The NBA's postponed tonight's Hawks-Suns game because of COVID protocols. NFL from ESPN's Adam Schefter. Vikings assistant GM George Payton agreed on a 6-year contract to be the Broncos' new GM. Bears announced that Coach Matt Nagy and GM Ryan Pace will be back for the 2021 season. The team also announcing that neither is getting a contract extension.
Look, we all accidentally damage our phones. It happens. Now, Straight Talk Wireless's new Platinum Unlimited plan includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, data, and more. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Oh, we are so blessed to be able to do what we do. It's a lot of fun around here the last couple of weeks with the Jags offseason underway. The number one draft pick, Trevor Lawrence, will be a Jacksonville Jaguar, it appears, in late April. The Urban Meyer flirtation is still just that. There is no news on the Urban Meyer front, and it's quite impressive, to be honest with you, that the Jags side and the Urban camp have kept it this quiet. I just texted somebody about that. I'm super impressed. In this day and age, in this landscape, you can do that. Sure, we've heard some things. Confirming things, not easy to do. I'm just being honest with you. And I'm not willing to just report stuff just to throw it out there.
I wish you would.
I know you do, and I know a lot of people do. I'm just not doing that. And by the way, I've been burned by that many a times. And that's okay. So we continue to follow it. And if we do hear something, we'll let you know that we can share that I'm 100% about. So, and that's part of this with Urban Meyer, right? I mean, even if you feel 100% one way or another way, it just feels like Urban, the way things have gone with him in the past, you're kind of wondering about, okay, is it really 100%? So it's something to keep an eye on. Certainly we will do that. And then the other coaches, what's going on in the NFL? The Jets just said that they had a second interview with Robert Saleh. I believe, again, this is me talking, my opinion, that Robert Saleh might be second in line for the Jags job. Like, that's my gut. That's the way it would be for me. And I wonder if he is, and is he waiting, or will he take this Jets job? Will a domino fall today in the NFL coaching circle? I do think because we talk about it so much, and we've kind of we really do feel and know that the Jags are interested in Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer at least has some level of interest in the Jags because he hasn't backed out, and they met Friday, and it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Here we are on Wednesday. That we all feel like, okay, it's about to happen, and now we're a little bit disappointed that it hasn't happened or nothing has come out yet. I did tweet out earlier, the Jags have taken their time in the coaching search before. The last three hires have happened over one was quick with Doug Marrone. That was like an 8-day span. But keep in mind, Gus Bradley had been fired a couple weeks earlier. One happened like 18 days later. That was Gus Bradley's hire on January 16th. Here we are on the 13th. And one took, wanted to say, what did I say now? Maybe 11 days or 12 days. And that was really 40 days after Jack Del Rio got hired. That was the Malarkey hire. So from season's end to when the hiring takes place, you're talking about double-digit days, sometimes 16 days, 18 days when it comes to Gus Bradley. And then there was a quick one with Doug Marrone. So this one, we're in day 10. Essentially, since the season ended. We're actually in day 9 since Doug Marrone got fired. So we continue to follow that. And then the big story of the last 24 hours, Lot J fails. The vote failed. I told you yesterday I had pretty good word, and I think a lot of folks did. Even the city council members, some of them that were voting said, hey, I've counted the tea leaves and think this is going to pass. And it was a bit of a surprise to some that this didn't pass. Yesterday came one vote short. They needed a supermajority. They got 12 votes instead of 13. And what I love about what we're able to do, and I say we're blessed to do it, Austin, is we can all have varying opinions. We can discuss it. I'm not going to sit here and yell at you and say everything that I think you should believe in just because I believe in. But I love the conversation and the education about it. And it took a lot of time to try to educate myself even more. Last night, watching that, today, and going back and reading stuff and calling people and checking in on things that maybe I was a bit unsure of. And so hopefully we can share some of that along with our opinions. So that's what we got going on today, man. A lot of fun, at least to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it's Groundhog's Day. You know, I gave Urban Meyer the ultimatum. He didn't follow through. I'm not sure if the analytics have shown that. Did he listen to the show yesterday? I'm sure he did. He's a big fan of ESPN 690. But I've done some astrology stuff. So I told you, Urban, I said that if you don't figure it out by today, I'll go over your astrology sign and see if you're going to be compatible with this team. So here we are now, Brent.
I love the report. Here's what's amazing about it.
He's a Cancer, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's amazing about the reports. There are none of substance. Like the national guys usually have a good beat on this. The agents talk, other coaches talk. A report last night out of Pro Football Talk that the rumors in coaching circles, the feeling in coaching circles, Urban's going to take it. Now, listen, I believe that does exist. I believe the coaches that are out there and available for jobs, they know how this is going to go down. And I tweeted last night, I said Jimmy Sexton kind of controls that. I believe that. He's like the Scott Boras of baseball. Jimmy Sexton is for coaches in college football and the NFL. So, I mean, he is a big trigger man on all this. And so I believe people do talk about it. But I also believe nobody really knows, Austin. You know, nobody's really confident enough that none of the national guys have to say something, right? They're on all the time.
Do you really, though? Because I'm going to make fun of you if you do. Like,
well,
like that dude from Good Morning Football, you said it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're aware it's Wednesday, sir. What did you reveal?
Yeah, Peter Schrager said they met on Friday, and it's Wednesday. So
riveting, Peter.
So something like keep an eye on it. We've been keeping an eye on it.
Emmy-winning award sports show. Riveting stuff. It's Wednesday today. Man, I need to get a gig in the national media. I mean, no disrespect to this show. I love this show. But one day, I can't wait to put out tweets like that and just watch the likes and the retweets pile up. I can't wait for that day.
Yeah, and I think that is funny. You did tweet a couple of things that were kind of funny in terms of waiting and keeping an eye on things for a few days. It's Wednesday, after all.
It is Wednesday. Hey, but it's something to keep an eye on over the next few days, Brent. It's something to watch over here.
Because you know tomorrow is Thursday.
That's what I heard.
In full disclosure now, I did ask yesterday on the show, will we know by today, by the showtime?
Yep.
And I said yes, so I was wrong. I thought we would know. Now, maybe we'll know inside the show. Who knows? That would even be awesome.
I have a few hours until I'm wrong.
It's going to be All Elite Wrestling tonight, folks.
What did you say, Austin? No?
I said we're not going to find out today. Okay. Yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah. Who knows? I guess maybe my sources are coming true here, what I've been hearing.
Yeah. I have a trusty source. It's now confirming it.
Confirming what? Oh,
can't say.
Oh, okay. It's confirming something?
Confirming rumors.
Hey, Peter Schrager, awesome.
Hey, let me ask you this. Seriously thinking today, let's just say, obviously the overtures have happened. The passing, we said Monday night, the Ohio State game, and his duties for that. Tuesday, he was talking at a coaching convention. Is it plausible? Again, this is just kind of a hypothetical in a sense of why is it taking so long? If you go back to last Monday, Shad Khan said, hey, we'd like to kind of make both moves at a similar time. He didn't necessarily say the exact same time, so I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said at a similar time, right? This wasn't like, hey, let's hire a coach, and then a week and a half later we're going to name the GM. And so I'm almost curious, could it be that, hey, this thing is kind of a done deal. Now they're trying to find the GM part of this before word does get out and start spreading and all the rest. I mean, is that a plausible scenario?
Sure, man. I mean, anything is plausible, I feel like, at this point. It could be very plausible that Urban Meyer is still actually deciding, talking to his family, if he wants to do this or not. It could be plausible that they figured this out last week and they're just trying to wait till the most opportune time to announce it. I mean, there's a lot of plausible things. From my opinion, though, the longer you wait, the more I just raise an eyebrow to it. Right now, maybe this has been the plan all along. Maybe Shad Khan has a plan of why this is taking so long or not. I'm just saying from what I've seen, from what I've garnered about Urban Meyer, if you truly want to win that bad, like you should already know if you want to do this job or not. And then the fact that we're sitting here on a Wednesday and there's no word yet, yeah, that's a little peculiar to me.
Yeah, and it's fair enough. See, because I think at this time there's got to be other things in play rather than do you want to do it. I think I told you this, and I fully believe this, that if Urban Meyer did not want to do it, I feel like by yesterday we would have all known that. I think he would have withdrawn. I mean, I just don't understand the point of dragging it out. I mean, he's been out for a couple of years now. He can – there's the conversations within his family and himself and everything else. And then, of course, you got to know what situation you're going into. But now we know those conversations have taken place too. So he's got everything in front of him. I don't really think he needs to answer that question anymore to himself. And I think if he wasn't interested, I think we would know by now. So are there crossing the T's, dotting the I's? Are there who could we possibly work with kind of talks? Or are those kind of things could be out there that could still disrupt it happening? Maybe. Certainly could be the case. I mean, listen, the bottom line is Josh McDaniels got hired by the Colts and then left them at the altar. Like that was a done deal. Like that was announced and left them at the altar. So nothing is – I would just say they want to make sure everything is done if it's going to get done because we've seen it all before. I mean, the Colts proved that. That Josh McDaniels thing kind of proved that everything's been done. Now, they ended up probably better for it with Frank Reich, quite frankly. But I think all these things are going to play out. And I would just say it really hasn't been as long since the season ended and since Doug Marrone got fired as it feels. I mean, it really hasn't. And this just in from the Jets, or at least some reports out of New York, that, yeah, they did meet with Robert Saleh, but apparently they either didn't offer him the job or they're bringing in other candidates still. So I think the whole league is kind of slow right now. Is there a little something to that too, Austin? Because remember, if you're in league circles, your first interview had to essentially be done by Zoom. Now, like Robert Saleh was able to fly to New York and meet, or wherever, to meet with the Jets. So now you can do those second interviews in person. But do you think COVID and the protocols and some of those things have slowed the process down for the entire league? Because, you know, I've kind of speculated that it's Urban holding up the NFL. That might not be true. It might be more just it's a slower process here in 2021 based on kind of the way of our world.
I still think Urban's holding up everything, but at the same time, I mean, from the other candidates, yeah, absolutely, this is slowing the process down a little bit, right? Like, there's no way you're going to offer a head coaching gig to a guy that you've had maybe an hour Zoom conversation with, right? Like, you have to meet that, you know, that dude in person and go over things. Like, there's a reason why back in the day meetings usually took place in person, especially important meetings like that. So absolutely, I think Zoom is slowing things down a little bit, and teams got to do more due diligence and obviously make things work. But with Urban Meyer's case, like, this is an open shut case. Nobody else is interested. Now maybe the Chargers are, but I don't buy into that. Yeah, so literally you have one suitor, and that's it. So whether it's a Zoom conversation, whether it's a hologram, whether it's in Shad Khan's yacht, like, the interview has taken place. What's need to be said has been said already. So once again, I just wonder what the delay is.
Yeah, okay. We're going to talk more about Urban Meyer, of course. We'll keep you posted. Anything that develops in the whole coaching world in the NFL. We also, James Harden and Kyrie Irving situations are so interesting to me, and we'll get to that. And I want to go off the deep end a little bit with that. And can we relate any of them to, like, the Antonio Brown situation from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Patriots, Raiders, all those, not necessarily this current version of Antonio Brown. But I want to at least ask that question. So we'll get into that. But the big story over the last 24 hours, really it's not even been 24 hours, is the Lot J movement failed in front of City Council. Needed 13 votes, got 12. And, again, I told you at the top, pretty surprised by that because I think there was some confidence that would get passed. Austin, where do you come down on this, man? I mean, you're seeing all the reaction, okay? I understand this is some political – a lot of it's politically based, whether depending on maybe even who you vote for, who you like, who all that stuff. I got to be honest with you, man, and you know me. We've done the show long enough. We don't come at it from a political point of view. I don't look at this as a political issue, quite frankly. Like, I don't. I look at this as a Jacksonville issue. But how surprised were you that it didn't go through? Is there disappointment? Did it make some sense to you? Where do you stand on?
Am I surprised it didn't go through? I would say a bit of me is surprised. Obviously, you know how I feel about it. I live in Duval County. I go downtown with the family every once in a while. And I think that any downtown is the lifeblood, is the heart of a city. Now, there's other things to do, but I'm talking right by that stadium. It's sparse to say the least. But the way this whole thing shook out, I'm really not surprised. Because from what I've gathered about this is like, and listen, politics are always going to be personal. Just look at the state that our country is in right now. So you can't tell me politics aren't personal. They're always personal. And when you have a leader who was trying to spearhead this agreement and a leader that a lot of people do not agree with, and I've shared my thoughts before about some of the things that I've seen on Twitter, whether it's exchanges, things like that. I think you know where I stand with it. I don't got to get into it right now. It's not about me, but I just think that when you have a leader who spearheads it, who doesn't have a lot of respect of a lot of those board council members, well, then what do you think is going to happen? Okay? And I don't put this on Shad Khan whatsoever. Shad Khan's a businessman. He got offered a great deal. He took that deal. Now, the deal didn't work out because, once again, maybe some of the board members or whatever who was responsible for voting didn't trust the situation, and so be it. That's on them. But I'm not going to chastise the people that said no, because I can definitely see their side. And I think that we get so hell-bent on, all right, well, if this doesn't go through, what's the story been? Are the Jaguars going to leave? Are the Jaguars going to leave? Listen, I have a lot of friends in this city, okay? And I have a lot of friends that are business owners that could care less about how the Jaguars are doing. They want to see downtown flourish. So I feel like I understand this is Shad Khan's thing. This is his investment. It's his money. He's the owner of the Jaguars. But we got to start looking at it from a side of what can we do to build up downtown? Not just football related, but everything related. Like, stop saying if you don't vote yes, you're going to lose the team. How about if you don't vote yes, it's going to hamper the progress of downtown? Now, some people, are going to be left to their own devices in some things. Like, that's what I would try to encounter instead of, the Jaguars are going to leave. The Jaguars, like, that's basically what this whole thing was ran on for a while, is if you don't vote yes, the Jaguars are leaving. Okay? And we live in such a bubble, Brett, and I love this bubble. I love the sport of football. I love the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I love this city. But people got to understand that it's bigger than just the Jacksonville Jaguars, all right? Not everybody in this city is a Jaguars fan. Not everybody in this city really cares about the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, especially after a decade of losing. So we got to start talking about more of how can we build up downtown, and we got to start talking about more of what the Jaguars mean to the city. Don't just say they're going to leave. That accomplishes nothing.
I think that's a great point, and I didn't know where I was going to start with this, so you just handed it off in a perfect spot. So I'll start in this because I've got a ton of different feelings, and I want your feelings too. 904-362-9901 coming up like after the break in a few minutes. We'll take calls and your thoughts on it, because I think it's a great discussion point of our community, and it really, again, I think there was so much attention on this last night and even today by sports fans or people who don't cover politics all the time or what's going on downtown. I think that acknowledgement is how important the Jags are, how big Shad Khan is here in the city, that they got this much attention. But I think you bring up a great point. I think this is something that I would love to stress to the politicians, business owners, and everybody downtown and in the city of Jacksonville and beyond, is that people make this about, and listen, there have been talks about free agent Jacksonville and other things. So I get why the topic comes up. I'm not dismissing that. But people make this about the Jaguars leaving or not. First of all, I strongly believe the Jaguars are not going anywhere based off of this decision. I believe once the stadium stuff happens now, we've seen evidence of other cities that have lost football teams because of stadium issues. So that will be something different down the road. But the Jags are not leaving because of what just happened in Lot J. No way. I don't. There's not an ounce of my body that even believes they're leaving anyway. And so I certainly don't believe it about this issue. That's not why I think last night was a little bit of a loss. I think it is all about downtown development. I've been a big believer in this for 5-6 years, and I know now everybody's talking about it, but I've talked about it a lot. We've talked about it a lot on this show about downtown development and the city, that through outsiders coming in, what it kind of looks like potentially. And so I would say to people in the city, people in official positions, stop looking at Shad Khan as the owner of the Jags and tying him into the Jags. That's certainly a part of it. But tying him into whether they're leaving, staying, what do we got to do? Do they have this leverage because of that? Austin, I would say, how many times do you have one of the richest men in the world walk into your city and want to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in your city? Now, That doesn't mean you have to give everything away for that or make a bad deal or anything like that. But just ask yourself that question. How often do you get a man that has that kind of money, that has that kind of interest in developing your city and can be a catalyst to it? No, and see, I think that's what people are missing. Forget about are the Jags going or staying. You don't want to lose that billionaire guy and his interest and motivation to spend some of his dollars in your city to make it better.
No, Brent, I completely agree with you. But let's be honest right now. People aren't going to be, with their heads in on the TV watching everything that takes place in politics, right? And the whole Lot J thing didn't really gain ground in terms of people on the internet, on Twitter, talking about it until last night. Like, you saw everybody come out in full force. And I understand that, yes, Shad Khan's a visionary. He's got a lot of money. And I think wholeheartedly, from what I know about him and his son, I think they do care about this city. They're not going anywhere, in my opinion. But when you put people in charge that are supposed to spearhead this thing, and their whole narrative is, well, if you don't do this, the Jaguars will leave. They're like, don't make it about football. And that's the issue. And I know you said this before a lot. Look what happened in New England with Patriot Place. Right? And that's a classic example. New England starts winning. They build up Patriot Place, and now that's like a destination, in the New England area. Right? And a lot of NFL cities can say that. But once again, we got to get off this whole thing about we got to take care of the Jags. We got to do this. No, man. We got to take care of downtown. Okay? So stop making it about the Jaguars. Yes, I understand Shad Khan is the owner. It's his money, all this stuff. But you can't threaten people with the Jaguars leaving and expect to be like, oh, it's all good. No, man. Let's focus on the task at hand and improving downtown for everybody. Because downtown's not just about the Jaguars. It's a big part, and I'm not naive to that. But people got to stop living inside their bubbles and thinking that's the only thing that people care about in this city. Because guess what? The vote says that it's not.
Yeah, but they all should care about downtown. And listen, I live in St. Johns County, and I care about downtown. Like, I care about Jacksonville. I tell this story all the time. When I came from Albany to Jacksonville, right, that was 12 years ago, 2008. I called my buddy up in high school, one of my good friends. I said, hey, man, I got a job in Jacksonville. He's like, hey, dude, have you ever seen Cops? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's like Cops is headquartered in Jacksonville. It's like, the show Cops.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was the view of Jacksonville. That was like the first thing when I said, hey, I'm moving to Jacksonville. That's the view. Now, listen, we've been here, right? You love it here. I love it here. We love it here. It's not the way it is, but that's the perception from the outside sometimes of Jacksonville. And downtown is not really a downtown. I mean, you can go to Savannah, you can go to Augusta, Georgia, and it's a better downtown, quite frankly.
But then whose fault is that, Brent?
Well, that's the fault of people probably for decades and decades. And so my big overview here is, listen, if this isn't the deal that's getting done, that's one thing, right? If there's reasons why it didn't get done, maybe that's okay. But how many times are you going to say no to a man that has deep pockets and deep interest and deep motivation to help build up the city? See, Lot J wasn't going to, as I said yesterday, Birmingham or Charlotte. Last night was a vote for Birmingham. I believe that. But Lot J wasn't going to make it Charlotte, but Lot J was potentially a catalyst to build up downtown and get more people moving and shaking.
Brent, but people on that city council, they don't want Birmingham. You mean to tell me right now that city council is like, you know what? Let's do ourselves a favor here, and let's not let Jacksonville grow. Let's not build up downtown. Let's make this Birmingham. Screw Charlotte. I like the way how it's small like that. Like, there's no way that the city council met together and said, let's go and vote no because I don't want to grow Jacksonville. It's got nothing. I mean, everybody wants a city to do well. If you don't, then you're lying. Like, it's the dumbest narrative ever. Like, even though city council, and I don't know any people on the city council, but I got to think that if you earn that spot, you want to see Jacksonville thrive and you want to see Jacksonville grow. It's got nothing to do with trying to hold Jacksonville back. It's got everything to do with the deal that was struck. People didn't agree with the deal. Okay, it's got nothing to do with the growth or the lack of growth. It's got to do with the deal. And people didn't trust the leadership that was put at hand, and people didn't trust the deal. It's as simple as that.
Well, okay, so listen, that's two different things, though, what you're saying. Because I think what the biggest bone of contention was the $65 million bread box loan, right? Like, that's what you heard and saw, and is that the right deal for the city? And it's debatable, and I think there are good points on each side, all that stuff, right? I mean, heck, I learned in 10 minutes the difference between a grant and a loan, although it took an hour and a half to explain it, it felt like, last night during that meeting. But so that's what you're saying, Austin, right? That's not a good deal for the taxpayers and everything else. But is that why the vote didn't go through? See, I don't think so. I think the vote didn't go through last night for two other reasons. One, because of political vengeance, because people had a big beef with the mayor. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have had a beef with the mayor, but they had a beef with the mayor, and that's why they voted no on it, not because of that $65 million loan. They even said that right before they voted no. And I think the other reason why they voted no is because they weren't involved as much in the process as they wanted to be. Now, was that on the mayor, or was that just their ego talking? I think that's debatable. So if you had come to me and just said today, hey, it didn't pass because of that $65 million loan, I don't know if I could beef with that. But what I watched last night is that thing didn't pass because somebody's got a beef with the mayor, or more than one people have a beef with the mayor. So that's political vengeance instead. That's a political vote for no. That's not a vote for the taxpayers or for the city, or I want to see the downtown development. I want to see the city of Jacksonville be better. That was self-motivated.
But then what are we talking about? Because you just said some people maybe voted no because they weren't involved in the process. And then we're talking about people didn't vote because of the $65 million. And then we're talking about people didn't vote because they don't like the mayor. What do all those three things have in common? The leadership, right? It's the leadership's responsibility to involve people in the process. If those people are mad, blame the leadership. The $65 million. If that didn't gel with you, well, whose fault is that? The person that made that up in the first place, the leadership. And number three, if you're not a fan of the leadership, then you voted no. Those are three things right there. Those are three caveats that are tied to one entity, and that is the leadership of this city.
Yeah, and I think that is a big part of it. The leadership is to blame on this front, no doubt about it. You just can't convince me they voted no yesterday because of the biggest topic of why you would vote no, and that's the $65 million loan. Let's take a break. We come back. We'll get your calls in. We got some comments on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We're having this discussion, and I think it's a big-time discussion. It's an interesting one for sports radio. We won't spend 3 hours on it, I promise. But I know it's an emotional one for a lot of folks, and there are varying opinions. And I've got some more thoughts on it, no doubt about it. So let's do it when we come back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Of course, in the background here, we're keeping an eye on Urban Meyer, what's going to happen there. Some big topics coming out of the NBA. So we'll talk sports as well. But 904-362-9901, what does the failed vote mean going forward? What's next? Is Shad Khan now, ticked off at this? It's a guy that we don't really know what his emotions are like. What happens going forward with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the impact from last night's vote? We'll get into all of it. Coming up on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A mix of clouds and sun, cool today with highs around 60. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm TV meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
Dang it, Tom Casey.
A customer came up to me the other day to say she found herself saying exactly that.
Dang it, Tom Casey.
Because she walked into a friend's home with a Florida-rated AC system and could feel the difference. Now, that's a good thing. But this particular customer had mixed feelings about replacing her not that old AC. On the one hand, she was excited about being way more comfortable in her own home. No more sticky humidity. Fortunately, she reached out and I offered her upgrade options that gave her the comfort she wanted without replacing her system or costing more than her budget. So if you've been wondering if that whole Florida-rated thing I'm always talking about is for real, yeah, it is. And if you're interested in upgrading, now is the perfect time. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. As a premium service provider, I generally don't discount. But I'll certainly do a little pencil sharpening during the slow season for customers ready to upgrade to the Griffin Service experience. If that's you, call me at
griffinservice.com.
License number 1250697.
My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time in the community you love, visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard, aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hi, it's Phil with the Phil Aiken Home Team at Keller Williams. When it comes time to sell your home, put me and the Aiken Home Team to work for you. Here's why. Over the years, I've perfected the home selling system, putting the most money possible in your pocket. With my exclusive list of buyers in waiting, I may already have your buyer. And with thousands of buyers, I'm likely to create more demand and higher sales prices. I'll even guarantee to sell your home at a price agreeable to you, or I'll buy it myself. Don't just take it from me. Let me introduce actual clients, Lynn and Craig. Tell us about your home selling experience.
We were immediately at ease. We had a great deal of confidence that any questions we had or anything that we needed to learn about the process was going to be handled in an expert and professional way.
We sold our home in just 2 days for $3,500 more than list price. Anyone who wants to sell needs to call Phil Aiken Home Team.
Thanks for sharing. The number to call is 904-500-PHIL. That's 904-500-7445. Or visit philhasthebuyers.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Do you know that there are 7 steps that can help to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild, even though they may have trouble controlling their anger or lack of focus or respect for others? Karate America takes pride in the tens of thousands of children they've impacted. Imagine your child or grandchild showing and earning respect, setting and achieving goals, and making good grades. Visit karateamerica.info to see if Karate America's leadership program is a good fit for your child.
I'm Glenn Levine, a board-certified civil trial lawyer. That means the Florida bars recognize me as an expert in the field of civil trial. As a trial lawyer, I'm trained to investigate every aspect of your case. If you've been involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Doug Peterson, if you are losing by 11, I love aggression in coaches, but there is such a thing as situational football.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And now, watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Brent Martineau.
But we could really take this show off the rails if we wanted to go half politics, half sports.
Austin Lane.
I mean, have you been on Twitter lately? Do you want extra $100,000? Do you want a scholarship? Let's go politics when we get back here.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Yes, I think it absolutely can translate, especially from him, because he's not a system guy. He's not just bringing a system or a scheme, right? Sometimes you hire coaches because they have a certain scheme. No, this is a guy that knows how to motivate people and motivate men and inspire people, and he's not bringing a system. He has a million systems. He had a different system at Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State. What he's bringing is a culture, is principles, is a buy-in, is something that I think would be special, and I think it will work at any level. I don't think he would rest until it did.
That's Tim Tebow. Yesterday we had a conversation with Tim. You can see the entire conversation about Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, and his part ownership now in the Jacksonville Icemen, and more on Urban Meyer. That is on ESPN 690's Facebook page, also up there on YouTube, I believe, and Twitter as well. So check it out. My full interview with Tim Tebow. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, here on a Wednesday as we await what will happen with Urban Meyer, what happens with the Jags coaching search. The latest from the national guys on Robert Saleh, interviewed for a second time with the Jets, now going to the Eagles. So, and the Jets are going to interview some other candidates, so nothing official there. It's just a slowed down process. It feels like, if you do the math on it, it's not as slow as one might think, because there's just been so much smoke. Meanwhile, the Jags have done a terrific job, and Meyer's camp have done a terrific job of not much getting out and leaking out. We are having a spirited discussion about Lot J and what happened last night in the failed vote. I think both of us, when we've discussed this in the past, we want to see I think our hope was that Lot J somehow got done one way or another, the right deal for the city. I mean, we don't want anybody – we're just thinking at the end of the day we would like to see Lot J get done or at least downtown development get going. But the way that unfolded last night, Austin and I probably disagree on a couple of points. I do want to make it clear on this front because you brought up leadership. And I told you a couple weeks ago, or shoot, man, it might have been a month ago, I think there are folks in 4 different camps when it comes to Shad Khan's attachment with Lot J or any downtown development. I think there's trust in politicians. I think there are folks that are saying after that JEA stuff, there's a problem there. I think performance on the field actually has impacted faith in Shad Khan. And while I do believe that's a little bit unfair from a business standpoint, I think it's just part of it. I think there's a wave of momentum when you win, and I think there's not that when you lose. And so I think that's the second tenet. I also believe there's a group of folks, and I'm in this group, if I'm being honest, say, let's do this, man. Let's build downtown. It's a great time to build it up, and let's make this city even greater than it is, this whole area greater than it is. And then I do believe there's a sense of old school Jacksonville, and I'm not knocking this. I'm just saying I believe this, that they're okay with Jacksonville the way it's been. And they don't really want to see a lot of movement ahead. Like I believe that section does exist. I don't know how big each section is, but I believe they're under those 4 headlines. And I think if you go back to number 1, and you brought this up, Austin, in the last segment, and we can debate why that vote didn't go as planned for the Jaguars side of things, and it got turned down. But you brought up leadership. And I'm just going to be blatantly honest with you here. I like Mayor Lenny Curry. He's been good to me. I don't look at a lot of politics stuff. I said it earlier in the show. I don't look at this from that prism. I don't look at things like that, really. I look at his downtown development. I know he does support the Jags and sports, and I do like that. My job is sports. I don't mind having a mayor that likes sports and supports sports in the city. Absolutely. 100% transparency there. I think he's a good family man, all those things. I think he has good intentions, means well. I also think he massively messed this up over the last year. I think last night's vote indicates that. I think this thing got turned down because of his conflict with some of those council members. Again, that's my view. I think it got turned down because of that, not because of the $65 million contentious bread box loan. It got turned down because of contention with the mayor. And if that's what made it turn down, that's where the swing votes landed, because of the mayor, well, then the events that led up to this, that's on the mayor. I have no other way to say that. I think that part is crystal clear, Austin.
I mean, yeah. Listen, I've spoken my piece. All right, I understand that, he's big in the community of sports, and he's a big Jaguar supporter, and that's fantastic. Anybody that's leading the trumpet blowing for the Jaguars on a national level, that's fantastic, right? Because the Jacksonville Jaguars can take all that they can handle in terms of people spreading the good word. So that's awesome, okay? And listen, I don't know Lenny Curry personally, okay? I go off of what I see. I go off of what people retweet involving stuff with him. I go off of how he responds to people that talk to him, all right, on Twitter and stuff like that. That's what I go off of. And yes, I'm in the sports media industry, okay? And I love my job very much. But I'm a citizen of the city first, and my job is second. So once again, I take away the football side, and I just worry about the development side and thinking about the entire city as a whole. Jaguars fans and non-Jaguars fans. Throw Steelers fans in there, Cowboys fans, whoever makes up this city, okay? Because it's everybody. I take them all into account. And that's why I'm so adamant about saying we got to stop talking about they're going to leave. Let's just talk about where, if this thing didn't pass, what are the side effects? What are the cons of our city going forward? What are the cons of our development? And Brent, I don't think anybody wants to see this city stay stagnant. I honestly, I don't believe that. I know that was I think that was your 4th thing that you mentioned in the sections thing that you brought up.
Yeah, I believe there is. I believe there's a sense of old school Jacksonville that's we're fine the way we've been. I believe that. I mean, you don't have to agree, but I believe.
No. I mean, I don't believe it. I've never met anybody that's thought like that. But listen, maybe I just hang around the wrong people. Okay, and maybe that's the case. And maybe truly there is somebody on that leadership committee, like on the board.
Well, I'm not saying
that
council, man.
Okay.
I'm just talking people in Jacksonville. Okay, I'm more talking about people, what side you're on. I'm not saying the 19 folks there necessarily. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I mean, regardless of that, though, whatever the reason may be, and we may never know the true intentions. But once again, it all comes down to one thing. And I've said that before in the last segment. It comes down to one thing, and it's the leadership. Okay? So whether it was a bad deal, whether it was the money, whether it was because you don't like the guy, it's leadership. And you can take that how you want. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not trying to call anybody out here. I'm just saying, yes, I want to see Lot J get complete because I want to see downtown flourish. I want to take my family downtown and have a good time. But I also get the other side where people don't trust people, then you can't sign that deal. You can't co-sign it. I get that point too.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be interesting because I just put out there, why do you think this voted no? And again, just if you missed it in the last segment, I think it voted no because of political vengeance, quite frankly. I think the last couple of folks in city council that said no, their whole talk was about discourse with the mayor, essentially. It wasn't about the $65 million loan, although that had been questioned at times throughout the evening. But I think they voted no because of their problem with the mayor. And so, to me, that's a bad way to go. That doesn't necessarily take the people in mind or the good of downtown in mind. That is more about political vengeance. That's a little bit more self-motivated, I think. And that's not what you're designed to do. So that's where I got thrown off a little bit last night. Again, I think the $65 million loan, if that's where you fall on why that didn't work, there's reason for that. Hey, let's go to the lines real quick. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. I think South Beach Gary's going to weigh in on Lot J a little bit. What's up, man? Happy New Year.
Hello?
Hey,
Gary, what's up, man?
Oh, I didn't hear the beep. I'm sorry, guys. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Brent, I know you're obviously disappointed because I remember how you talked about when they were talking about the announcement and the plans, how Jacksonville has to decide now what kind of city it's going to be. And this decision has a big impact on what kind of city they're going to become. And though I do agree with you, Austin, on the fact that you should do it for non-football reasons, just to help the overall, whether you a Jags fan or not, it's to improve the downtown area, revitalize the downtown area. I do agree, Brett, that there are people that did it just for political reasons, because I heard not only Mayor Curry mention it, but I heard a councilman who voted yes saying that people are doing it just for their own political vengeance and taking it out, and that's no reason to vote. We have enough of that on the national level by both Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
And we don't need it on the local level.
All right, that's South Beach Gary. I don't know if we lost him, cut him off a little bit. Sorry if we did, South Beach Gary, but I appreciate the thoughts. We got to get to a break. We're going to keep rolling with this and get your thoughts to 904-362-9901. All right, I want to spin it ahead. We've given our opinions, right? So what's next? I mean, what does it mean? Why doesn't it mean the Jags are moving? I'll give you my thoughts on that. And what is next? Is it the shipyards? Is it the stadium? Does the city have to think more big picture in terms of rolling it all into one big thing? Should Shad Khan say, hey, you don't want to play ball? I'll go do my own thing. I'm going to go build my own facility for the Jags. I'll go spend $100 million on that, on my team, rather than help build up downtown Jacksonville. Where does it go from here? I think there are a lot of different ways it could go from here. We'll talk about it next. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Hump Day. I'm Jake Mitchell. Former Jags head coach Gus Bradley has landed himself a new gig in Las Vegas as the defensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders. Remember, he helmed the Jaguars for 3 years. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers will probably be the NFL MVP this year, but that's not all. He'll also be a guest host of legendary TV show Jeopardy! He also appeared on the show as a celebrity contestant in 2015. Here he is talking about this year's 13-3 team versus last year's 13-3 team.
I feel like we have a lot of confidence this year. We believe in ourselves. Offensively, we're just a much better team than we were. We're a much more efficient team. That helps for sure. On the offensive side of the ball, last year we were just so up and down. I think that's been the biggest difference offensively is we're playing with a lot more confidence.
This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hey everyone, this is Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. But if you missed the show today, you missed this. Are the Buffalo Bills for real?
I think they are. I mean, I've been a big Josh Allen supporter. I mean,
how about his start?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm not surprised.
I guess Jalen Ramsey wasn't right about him being trash. Subscribe to the podcast and check the show out on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Get the podcast daily. All you have to do is search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
You probably played this as a kid, especially if you had siblings. Put a kink in the garden hose when your brother's trying to use it, then once the nozzles turn towards him, let it go. It's more fun when you're the older brother. The thing is, even a slight kink will reduce water flow to a trickle, and FlexDuct is like that too. Now you might be thinking,
it can't be that screwed up, can it? I can still feel air coming out of the vents.
And without working in air conditioning my whole life, I might think the same thing. Unfortunately, it can and often is that screwed up. Kinked and spaghetti ductwork, hairpin turns, it's why our techs take pictures. And just because airflow is coming out of the vent doesn't mean it's adequate airflow. It's why Griffin service techs measure airflow and static pressure rather than just feeling with their hands and guessing. Because without adequate airflow, performance turns into turd buckets. The good news, it doesn't take that much work to dramatically improve airflow and comfort. The better news, from now until February, you can get a deal on fixing your ductwork. But only if you call
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
If you love golf, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus card fees with the Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club, Fleming Island Golf Club, and 6 others. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
In 2021, the new motto is seize the day. So you gotta go to Arlington Toyota, because their super low lease payments are gonna put a brand new Toyota in your driveway tonight. Right now at Arlington, lease a new 2021 Camry LE for as low as $186 a month. Or lease a new 2021 Tacoma SR5 double cab V6 for just $259 a month. Seize the day and make 2021 yours in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Shop safely in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/January for full details.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station. My name is Deborah. I serve as a district manager for the Florida Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. I am passionate about helping others and advocating to protect the quality of life and the rights for those who many times cannot help themselves. You can make a difference in someone's life today. Visit us at ombudsman.myflorida.com to learn more.
Most people don't realize there is a Holocaust gallery right here in Jacksonville at Jewish Family and Community Services. Also, there are many Holocaust survivors that live locally. The Frisch Family Holocaust Memorial Gallery features rotating exhibits, making it a great free resource to schools, civic groups, anyone. And it's so important we remember, especially our youth. Jewish Family and Community Services, here for remembrance, here for Jax. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
For the ones standing guard, for the eagle-eyed, for the knights in shining armor, and for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Goose from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
Hey, welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martin along with Austin Lane. Coos here on a Wednesday as we try to wait on Urban Meyer or any coach on what seems to be a slow process. And I got to be honest with you, and I've said this to you before, I thought by yesterday we would have some at least reports. My timetable was by today we'd know what was up, and Thursday we'd have a press conference.
Yeah.
I guess that's not happening.
Yeah.
So instead, here we are talking about Lot J, the failed vote. What we have varying opinions, of course, and that's okay. I love the discussion.
Politic talk,
yeah,
baby.
Man. Well, again, try to stay away from the politic talk, but I think it leads us down that road, doesn't it? It often does. And just one other, I think you've heard me say this a bunch, Austin. And I know we probably have some people listening that don't hear me say it a lot. Or I love when I talk to people and be like, well, you guys should talk about that more. Like, we've talked about Lot J so many times. I've been talking about Lot J, the shipyards, downtown development, outside of the Jags, like separate from the Jags for so many years. But I understand there are more ears and eyes on it right now. And why do I believe in it? Well, of course, I think everybody wants to believe in a more vibrant downtown and be prideful in the city. But I just tell you from experience, and I use this example, I'm from Rhode Island. I'm from East Providence, Rhode Island. That's 7 minutes away from downtown Providence. We didn't go to downtown Providence when I was a kid. Downtown Providence was a dump. And when I went away to school in 95, came back in 99, I come back, and I always say it like this because has some humor to it. All of a sudden, my hometown city had been built up. Providence was booming, and people were like, Providence is an awesome place. And by the way, the mayor was in jail.
Yeah.
Because, well, they obviously didn't do it on the up. So I'm not advocating that, okay? I'm not advocating that. But I just saw it up close and personal. Now when people say, hey, man, you're from Providence, I love Providence, they wouldn't have said that before. We saw it, the flip. And I'm sure I was too young and probably dumb and might still be dumb, but to even know what kind of conversations were being taken place. Of course, I was in Ohio going to college through most of that. And I'm sure there were a lot of these kind of discussions. This is a little bit different because of the pro team, Jacksonville, and a billionaire owner. I know that wasn't present in Providence at the time, but I've seen it. And obviously, we've referred to the Patriots stuff before. Well, that's a little bit of a different animal because Foxborough is not a downtown. It is tied with a team. So that's kind of where I'm coming from and why I've always been passionate about downtown development. And, again, I don't think Lot J was like the boon of, oh, my gosh, now it's going to change downtown. I think it was a catalyst. I really do. So that's where I'm coming from. But what's next? Mark Lamping, the president of the Jags, says, all right, this one's dead. On to the shipyards. And, well, does that excite you, Austin, or are you like, well, we'll see what happens?
No, I mean, obviously, to me, I'm excited because, once again, I'm all for growth of this city. I think anybody who's not for growth is an absolute fool. Like, you should take pride in your city and want to see it flourish. And one way to flourish, obviously, is to grow the downtown area and grow the shipyard. So I'm absolutely excited for it.
Yeah, now there's some government, federal land. I tried to get a little bit more clear-cut of an answer today. I'm going to do a bad job of explaining this, but there's different things you got to hurdle on the shipyards, but not impossible. So I think the Jags are ready to go with that side or close to, or, you could see something. I just don't know the timetable for it, if I'm being honest, and I think that's probably a story for down the road. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a very good sign that Shad Khan's just not saying, all right, I'm going back to my office.
No, I mean,
they're saying, all right, fine, this didn't work, let's move on to the next. And that's kind of the way Shad Khan has operated. And again, my view of this is not Shad Khan, the Jags owner. My view of that from a city standpoint is Shad Khan, the guy who wants to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in the city to help development in downtown. I wouldn't want to lose that guy if I'm a city official. Let's go to the line. Kevin is on the line. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. What's happening, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on Lot J. I have two things to say. The first part is I think it failed to pass because of a bunch of reasons, and I think the obviously the Vinny Curry issues stand out, but also the fact that they didn't go through the normal process. You know, as mentioned, they should have brought it through DIA, and that was brought up multiple times. Even afterwards, Lamping said, you know, next time, I believe he said next time they'd try to go through that process. In addition to that, I think it's clear that, like, one of the reasons it didn't pass is not because it didn't get a majority. It did get a majority. It just didn't get the 3/4 of a majority vote. So I believe with that, and that was really, it had to pass that way because it was in the middle of the budget year. Mm-hmm. So I think this is like, there's a bunch of tiny things that contributed to it not passing. But I think, you know, my second point is, I think actually it showed that city council is willing to, you know, make these deals. Even a deal that they admitted multiple times wasn't the best deal. You know, even some of the people, the council members supporting it, admitted, you know, this isn't for return on investment. This is for, you know, growing downtown and taking that risk. And I think, you know, I'm really hopeful with the shipyards because it's another chance, but as well, I think people want to see the shipyards, you know, develop. It's at least from, you know, everything I've known about the shipyards, it's always thought of as like an eyesore, as like a, you know, drain on downtown, or however it's mentioned. But I think actually there is some positivity, especially how Lamping responded after the deal didn't get passed.
No doubt. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate your time. We're up against the break, but it's an interesting point. I think it is worthy to point out 12 did say yes, right? They needed 13 to make it that 68% in that super majority because of what Kevin just said. And now they are moving on. There is that sense of positivity. Say, hey, okay, I thought it was a great reaction from Mark Lamping and a very positive deal. What I've looked into, too, is like, I don't think, again, this wasn't going to be an economic boon in terms of return on investment from either side necessarily. But again, I think that word catalyst sticks out to me. And so now what's going to jumpstart it? And some folks will say, listen, there's a lot going on downtown. I appreciate that. I think this has a different feel than some of the other projects going on downtown that can maybe jumpstart things quicker, elevate quicker. And so as we look ahead to potentially the shipyards, I think we also have to talk about a potential of the stadium. Should they be doing that now? Should they be asking for the stadium now? Why wait? And does Shad Khan now have all the leverage the next time he proposes something? Because can you say no again to a billionaire owner? Might not be a wise choice. We'll talk about it on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Your calls welcome, 904-362-9901.
Boss, have you heard the latest about the ding-dong doorbell cameras?
What, more employees spying on customers?
Nope.
Hackers again?
No, boss, this time they had to recall over 350,000 video doorbells.
Recall? What happened?
A bunch of them caught fire.
Whoa, unbelievable. It's one thing after another with them.
Yeah. Notice you never heard that with Safe Touch's video cameras?
Well, now you're just comparing a Bentley with a bumper car.
Exactly. I just don't understand why any homeowner wouldn't go with Safe Touch.
Yeah, their video monitoring's virtually hack-proof. Oh, and here's a bonus. Safe Touch cameras don't burst into flames.
No kidding.
It's just a good thing not everyone knows about Safe Touch, because we gotta stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah, don't gotta tell me twice.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Happy New Year from the team at CGC Water. This new year, our gift to you is clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember this limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Special holiday financing still available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer. Have a happy, safe, and prosperous new year.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Some fuel system cleaner could help. It cleans your entire fuel system to help improve your fuel economy. Right now, you can get Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner for just $4.99. Plus a $1 bonus reward if you're an AutoZone Rewards member. Not a member? We can sign you up fast right here in store or on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Assurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Hi, it's Brian Kilmeade for Phil Aiken Home Team Keller Williams Realty. I'm talking with Greg and Gary about their recent home sale. Why did you call Phil Aiken?
We called Phil Aiken because we had heard that his team will sell your house quickly and for more money than any of the other realtors in town.
Tell us what happened.
Phil Aiken and his A-team, they will make the process very easy. Sold in 4 days and got over asking price.
Well, that's great. So how did you think they were able to sell it so fast?
Because Phil has the buyers and they have the team that can get the job done quickly and stress-free.
What would you tell a friend who is looking for a real estate agent to sell their home?
Would I recommend Phil Aiken and the A-team? Absolutely.
Well, the results speak for themselves, right? Phil Aiken and his team have the systems and will even guarantee to sell your home in writing or buy it himself.
Yes, we got better results than we expected.
Thanks, Gary. Friends, hire the agent with the buyers looking to buy a home right now. Call Phil Aiken. Call 500-PHIL. That's 500-PHIL, or visit philhasthebuyers.com.
Save thousands and pay up to 50% less MSRP during the New Year's clearance event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Pay up to 50% less and buy a pre-owned 2020 Corolla LE from just $11,881. Save on Camry and pay up to 50% less on a pre-owned 2020 Camry SE from just $17,291. How about a pre-owned 2020 RAV4 XLE from just $19,991? Pay up to 50% less at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/New Year clearance for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
James Harden, if he wanted to get to Brooklyn, could get to Brooklyn. Him, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. If that happens, they would be the favorite to come out of the East. That could be your NBA Finals next year. The Lakers, LeBron, AD, Dennis Schroeder versus the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. You know, I really enjoy talking about these topics. I know we do a sports show, and this kind of is side by side with sports. And I know there are a lot of sports fans passionate about this issue, so I appreciate you hanging with us and talking a little bit about it. We'll keep the conversation going a bit more. I do want to get into the coaches search a little bit more, see if we are going to learn anything, and why the time might be taking a little bit more than normal over the next couple of days, or we might be waiting a long, long time. I'll give you my thought on that. And Austin had a good topic we didn't get to yesterday. Are we living in just this unbelievable era of coaches? from Bill Belichick to Nick Saban and others, especially on the football side. So let's continue with the Lot J talk. Andrew's hanging on the line. Appreciate you hanging through the break, man. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Give us some of your thoughts.
Hey, guys. Great show. Thanks for taking my call. So to me, this deal with Lot J just seems so one-sided with the $65 million, what they call a breadbasket loan, interest-free loan, and then along with the subsidies that go along with it. I'm just kind of curious why Shad, if this was so beneficial for the city, didn't consider outside financing for the deal, and why he's just kind of taking it off the table now and not willing to kind of renegotiate or take some concessions. So I'm kind of curious what your guys' thoughts are on that. And then secondly, I was kind of curious why there's been no stadium enhancements. I'm sure they can put up a canopy to protect, fans from the heat. I was down at a game in September and it was like 100 degrees. So it'd be nice not to pass out from heat stroke. So just kind of curious.
Amen to
what's
that,
your guys'
man.
thoughts on that?
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate the call, man. Thanks for jumping in. You're welcome to jump into 904-362-9901. Getting a lot on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube as well, so we'll share some of those thoughts. Also, I'm going to answer the first part especially, and then we're going to get into the stadium. And I think it's a fantastic view. A buddy of mine, by the way, I've had a lot of these conversations off the air with a lot of friends that quite frankly, I would say are a lot smarter than me and probably know a lot more about it than me. But sometimes I like looking at it from not knowing all the devil in the details stuff too, and then we can go look at the details a little bit closer. But I have these conversations with some friends, and one brought up yesterday, it's like, why doesn't he just go do it himself? He's got the money to do it. If he wants to do it, just privatize the whole thing. And I think part of whatever, and this might answer Andrew's question, or I might sideswipe it, and I apologize if I do, but I think some of the way this was set up, I have two thoughts on it, and I have no idea if I'm fully right, but I have two big thoughts on it. One is, I bring you back to who's doing this? Who's proposing these ideas? Like, who's walking into City Hall to the mayor and saying, hey, I'm okay to write a check for 200 and something million if you guys do this and we do this. Well, I think they even said it in the council meeting. Developer's going to go try to get the best deal, and if there really isn't a lot of competition for that, well, that certainly puts the leverage on your side when you're willing to write that kind of check. And so I think that's part of it. I think the other part of it is, I think Shad, and this is what I think gets lost about Shad Khan, and I've long been a believer in this. I've talked to many people about this, and nobody has ever said anything different. And while I understand the narrative in the national scene and the narrative sometimes around here, even last night when we said Lot J fails, oh, there they go, they're going to London. He's moving them out of there. I can't tell you this enough, folks, that everything I have learned over the last however many years of being around Shad Khan does not speak to that. Everybody close to Shad Khan says he loves this place. And if I just take it from a logic point of view, and I'm a billionaire, and I have one of the top 5 growing cities in the country right now, that's a blank canvas, even if my ego is talking, I can reshape a downtown that really doesn't have much right now. Why wouldn't I try to build that, even if that's just an ego thing? But I do think, secondly, I think it's mostly driven where he wants to see this place succeed. And so I think that is as genuine can be. And so, Austin, my thought on it is, I think he wants the city to have some skin in the game. I think he doesn't want to just hand over however much money with them not having a skin in the game, because then they'll just be, the next time rolls around, hey, you do this again. I don't think they want to call this, Shad Khanville. I think he wants it to be Jacksonville. And so if you're going to do that, I think you need to have skin in the game if you're the city. That's my point of view on it. Again, I've thought about this a lot. Like, why wouldn't he just go do it more? Or why does that $65 million loan matter? And so from his standpoint, I believe, again, I don't know this part, but I am speculating that I think he wants the city to have skin in the game, because this is just the start. This isn't going to be the last time they do a deal together.
Yeah, listen, I mean, first of all, so your first point. Like, I don't think Shad Khan wants to go either. But, I feel like the narrative all the time is that if we don't appease him, then he's going to pack up and leave. Like, would you agree with that or not? Well, or do you think that's completely drawn out?
I think it's fair to wonder what it is. Like, I can't tell you today how Shad Khan is feeling. I don't know if he's pissed. I don't know if he's like, well, whatever, that didn't work, on to the next thing. I don't know. I really don't. And not many people are close to Shad, so I don't know if anybody has a good feel for that. But I will say this. How many times are you going to say no to a guy that wants to spend that kind of money?
Yeah, but Brent, we're not seeing, like, I don't think those city council members, and listen, maybe they have a vendetta against Shad Khan. I don't think that's the case.
So.
Okay,
No,
so that's not the case.
No.
And it's not the city saying, no, Shad, you can't do that. Okay, it's just like the fact of, let's bring football into it, right? Because we're a sports show, so let's compare it to football real quick. Yannick Ngakoue, he wanted to get a new contract. He wanted to get paid. He said, pay me this much, I'm worth this much, pay me right now. And whether it was Shad Khan or the people that Shad Khan put in charge, what do they say? They said, that's too rich for our blood. We're not going to pay you that deal. Best of luck to you. It was never personal against Yannick Ngakoue. They just didn't think it was a good deal. For Yannick Ngakoue brought to the table, they thought the price range that he was asking for, it just wasn't a good deal. Well, it's the same thing right now with this Lot J thing. It's not a big middle finger to Shad Khan saying, no, man, we don't want your money. You'd be stupid not to have Shad Khan help this city out. But once again, it's just it wasn't a good deal. Or so people that voted no thought that. It's as simple as that. It's nothing personal. This is business. And I think Shad Khan should understand that more than anybody. Now, I'm not blaming Shad Khan for the deal that he kind of struck up with Lenny Curry or whoever idea it was, because he's a businessman. And on his side, it was a genius deal. No interest? Are you kidding me? Anybody would sign up for that. You'd be a fool not to. But at the end of the day, you got to keep in mind, does it work for both sides? And I think this vote shows that it didn't work for one side. It's nothing personal with Shad Khan.
Also, I love the analogy. It's a great analogy, but I'm just going to twist it a little. Well, not twist it. I'm just going to say this about the analogy, because this is where I think it differs. I think if Yannick Ngakoue is the only pass rusher that exists over the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, well, guess what? They might have had to pay him the money because it's an important position. So my point being, I get it. You can't just give everything away. I understand there's negotiations and all that, the discussions, and still a good deal is important. But I'm telling you, guys walking down the street saying, I'll help with 200 and something million isn't happening all the time. There's more pass rushers than billionaires walking through Jacksonville saying, I want to commit a couple $100 million to downtown. See, that's what I think the difference is.
Well, then we'll say Jalen Ramsey, because there's only one Jalen Ramsey in the league, I feel like. And then we can compare it to that.
Yeah, that's a better example, probably.
Well, there you go.
But I mean, there's still Xavier Howard, right? I mean, they did go draft. They tried. You can try. You can try C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, no, for sure you can try him. But I'm just saying, right now in the league, there's only one Jalen Ramsey.
So now, what? Again, my concern is not that the Jags are going to move. My concern is, does this set the table a few years down the road that the next time a deal gets done, there's more angst, whatever it is, political angst, against the mayor angst, the deal's not good enough angst, whatever it is, that it doesn't get done again. And then when does that come to a point where you're like, all right, we tried for 3 years to get Lot J. Didn't happen. We tried for another however many years to get the shipyards. Didn't happen. Onto the stadium. Is that even going to happen? So where does that fall? And I'm not sure where it does. And again, I'm not saying I know how Shad feels about this. I just think that's a reasonable curiosity, is how many times you can say no to a guy that's trying to do stuff.
Let me pose this question to you. And obviously, earlier on the show, I said it's not just about this football team. It's about everybody that lives downtown. It's about the entire community. But then let's make it more of a football thing real quick. If the Jacksonville Jaguars went to the playoffs this year, do you think the vote would have went the same?
No. I don't. I think they would have passed.
Okay.
I don't know where you're going with this from your point of view, but I'm going to say, I think there are 4. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the show, too, just because I know people are jumping in, and this is quick. I think there are 4 ways, four crowds of people. One says, let's do it. Let's just get it done, damn it. Let's do it. One says, I don't trust the city officials. Mayor, everybody, I don't trust it right now. One says, we don't need to do that. Like, we got these little projects, and Jacksonville's fine the way it is and all that stuff. I believe that portion exists. And then the other portion does exist, says, You guys have lost 11 out of 12 years. You just went 1-15. I've already given you a lot of money in my season tickets. I don't believe in anything you're doing. So if I say that those are the four factions of people, I believe there would have been more momentum from the public, which then impacts the city council, to say, let's do this. And to be honest with you, I feel like today that's a little bit of the shame in not getting it done, because this has been a fun as hell 2 weeks of the offseason, and it kind of stymied that a little bit, so I'd be lying if I didn't say that part kind of was like, it hit the brakes on a fun offseason so far, in my opinion.
Sure.
But I understand the two are separate. But so to answer your question, I would say, yeah, I think it would have been a more favorable position to be in, and I think they only needed one more vote, man. And so I think, going to the playoffs this past year or maybe the last couple of years, I think it would have swung that vote.
So then this is where I was going with it in terms of the shipyards, right? Like the past is prologue and all that good stuff, but you don't want to repeat what just happened if you're Shad Khan, right? So obviously, because let's be honest here. I mean, and listen, he's a billionaire for a reason. That guy knows more about business and being successful than I can know in 25 lifetimes, all right? So I'm in no way, no shape, no form to tell Shad Khan how to run things at all. I'm in no place to do that. But all I'm saying is you have to take a look at what just happened with Lot J. You didn't get what you wanted, obviously, right? Okay, bummer, you got to move on. What did you learn from it? All right, well, number one, maybe we got to have a better deal next time. Maybe we have to have some better leadership and maybe go through the proper channels next time. But also, when you do come around again and you have another vote, ask yourself if the team is successful or not. Ask yourself if there's hype around this city right now. Because like I said, it's not all about football. But if you're Shad Khan, I think it has to be. Because if you're trying to create a buzz, if you're trying to create hope, and you're trying to create people to kind of vote your way, then a winning product on the field can cure a lot of that stuff. It's not everything, because once again, it's not just about football. But that's the difference between, in my opinion, 2, 3, maybe even 4 votes.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. And I agree with you to a sense. So much so that I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and we brought it up on the air. And I was trying to play it from like the PR perspective, right? And somebody said, maybe they should announce Urban tomorrow. Yesterday.
Yeah.
And before the vote. So there's like this overwhelming possibility.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I think I'm just being honest, like a private conversation. And I said, well, here's the thing. Say Urban's coming and they got him locked in. But I think they feel like they got the vote. And again, if you watched that meeting last night, there were a lot of council members who even voted no that thought they had the vote. And so I said, they think they have the vote. Well, it's still going to be a bit contentious on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. The other side's going to be like, it was a bad deal for the city. And, well, then you can, from a PR standpoint, say, hey, we got Urban Meyer today. And then everybody feels better.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, a wasted opportunity. They should have brought out Urban Meyer and Sting from AEW on the same night. Could you imagine the trending buzz from that? There's no way that would have been voted no.
That would have been a heck of a 24 hours.
Could you imagine the news cycle? It's all Jacksonville. And then maybe Brett Durst announces that Limp Bizkit's going to have a reunion concert. I mean, game over. Vote for whatever you want to vote for.
Hey, I really respect how much people know about this topic and have they're not just talking about it last night or whatever, and they really do know some of the weeds of this stuff. We don't cover politics all the time. So one of the things I did ask about a couple of different ways, from whether it's reporters or other people today, is like, well, what about this whole transparency thing? And like, I felt like it hurt people's feelings on the council that they weren't involved earlier in the process. And I think that's what came across to me, at least, listening to the council meeting, that it was like, well, why didn't you include us more? We wanted to be in the loop more. And of course, that goes to taxpayers and the citizens and everything else. But I was told, and I know this was a bigger scale project, so I don't know if it's fully apples to apples. I'm just sharing what I learned on that front. It was like, hey, this was the same process that the video boards in Daly's Place and other projects like that happened. It was negotiation with the mayor's office in downtown before it went to city council and then got approved. So I guess from that standpoint, I think there's a little bit of a narrative like they tried to swindle the deal. And I don't really think that's the case. I don't. I think partly people feel that way because of the JEA stuff. And I think that gets tied in the events of the last year or so. And so that distrust that they talked about at that council meeting, kind of what I said, the belief and trust in the politicians, there's a section that people don't want to do this stuff right now because of what has transpired in the last year. I think that does exist, but I don't know if that was an apples-to-apples type thing, that narrative, because I think they've done other projects the same exact way, and people approved it.
No, true. I mean, this could be considered a bigger project, though. So maybe there's
a lot
video
more dollars,
boards, and then that's the
Absolutely.
thing, Brent. When there's a lot of money involved, a lot of the city's money. Listen, whether you're purchasing a new car, you're signing a contract with work, or whatever the case may be, or you're talking about millions and millions of dollars for a Lot J thing. People got to be behind the scenes. Like, people want their hands on it. They want to know what they're getting into. And if people on that board or that council thought, you know what, I have no idea what's going on right now, this doesn't feel right, then I can see why they voted no. Just like where if I'm trying to sign up for a new car or something like that, and all the fine print is kind of like, there's some iffy stuff here, then I'm not going to buy a new car. And that could be like a $15,000 car. We're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars towards a city.
Yeah, let me ask you this real quick, and I don't think we have the details of anything. We know, I think it was, they said second quarter, 2023, conversations about a stadium will then take place. Should they just do it now? Should we start exploring the stadium stuff now?
Are you talking about like renovating the stadium?
Well, yeah, it's going to be a renovation. All right. The idea, the discussions have been a renovation. We're not talking about a $2.3 billion stadium that gets redone. We're talking about, I think there's a structure there that they feel like they can renovate, much like the Dolphins have done. I think it was, I forget the dollars, but we're talking probably $400 or $500 million that they did, and they put the kind of that canopy shading over it, and it's really nice down there in South Florida.
Well, and that'd be the big part to me, right? Because you could say, well, do you build kind of like the underground part of a stadium, right? Because Jacksonville is unique in the fact that there is no underground means for the bus to go, right? Like if you want to see your favorite away opponents, you can wait by the fence and watch them come out of the locker room. Usually how it works is there's an underground, thing. So, I mean, you could build that. But like at the end of the day, I'm talking about the internal stuff of the stadium, the locker rooms and things like that. I mean, at least from my perspective, and I've been in there before, obviously, a couple times, that's fine to me. Like, to me, it's about taking care of your fans, and that's where the canopies come in. So, to answer your question, should they add on? Should they start the renovations? I think if you want to add the canopies, I think if you want to add shade and take care of your fans, then absolutely. Then definitely do it. Get out in front of it. I think if we're talking about more of the internal stuff as opposed to the cosmetic stuff, then I think you can maybe pump your brakes a little bit and wait on that. But I think if you're into making the fans happy, then yeah, get the canopies. They're obviously asking for it. It's a real thing. It's hot as hell in the summertime. Take care of them.
Yeah, and by the way, we finally got to Andrew's question about that. And sorry it took so long, but I think I think part of it, Austin, is more than that. I do think it's the underbelly of the stadium. I think it looks good on game day, the stadium.
Yeah.
I think the canopy stuff or the whatever it is to hide some of that east side shade or sun is certainly an issue with the fans, and there's plenty of feedback on that. But I also think there's things that we're missing as well. Like even if you've been to Dallas, I'm going to miss some of these. Maybe it's Atlanta. Some of the stadiums that we've been to, the newer stadiums, they have like field level suites now.
Yeah.
You know how they carved out like that little area in the south end zone?
Yeah.
They knocked that down. So they have more of those that are suites. Well, suites are premium seating. Suites and premium seating are more dollars, Yeah. So there's that part of it too. It's not just the underbelly and getting a bus to drop off the guys right at the locker room and all those other things. There is that. But I think there's so much more too, and that's why the cost is going to be pretty expansive. One other thing about the stadium, at least I heard before when we asked this question about Lot J, is I think there's a strong belief by Shad Khan and everybody down there, I believe this now, that they feel like getting downtown started development-wise before the stadium and going in that order is important, rather than vice versa. Sure. And some of that might be because, again, I think there are some NFL pressures here to keep building around, right? Make it bigger. Listen, there's a lot of pressure on me. I got Ruth's Chris Steak hanging on the 2028 draft being in Jacksonville.
Yeah, man.
Maybe that's the why I want to see downtown developed.
You better start hedging that bet a little bit, man, because right now I'm looking at a nice cowboy ribeye, and it's going to be a pretty big price tag on your side, I think.
It's going to be expensive.
Yeah, man. And I'm getting all the lobster bisque, too.
All right. Are we in an era of great coaches? And could one of them be coming to Jacksonville? We'll talk about it A little more sports now on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. But if you do want to jump in on Lot J, we'll get back to it. And 904-362-9901 is the number.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to mostly cloudy today. Temperatures will reach the upper 50s to around 60 degrees. Chilly tonight as we drop to near 40. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm TV meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In 2021, the new motto is Seize the Day. So you gotta go to Arlington Toyota, because their super low lease payments are gonna put a brand new Toyota in your driveway tonight. Right now at Arlington, lease a new 2021 RAV4 LE for just $224 a month, or lease a new 2021 Corolla LE for an amazingly low $127 a month. Seize the day and make 2021 yours in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/January for full details.
Boss, hit the gas!
What's going on? You were supposed to check to see if that house had anyone home. Now their porch is on fire.
Boss, I didn't do it. The ding-dong doorbell camera just burst into flames and started melting.
Oh, so it's true. Those things are fire hazards.
Yeah, and now we know another big difference between those cheap ding-dong doorbell cameras and a SafeTouch security system.
Well, yeah, with SafeTouch, homeowners don't have to worry about their video cameras getting hacked.
Or employees spying on customers.
Or bursting into flames.
Uh-oh. Fire department's coming, boss. Time to go.
I'm way ahead of you. By the way, your eyebrows are completely gone.
Oh, well. Maybe it's an improvement.
Just so I know you still got your senses, recite the Crooks Are Us golden rule again.
Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Don't worry. It's burned into my brain.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
As a parent or grandparent, deep down, do you worry that your child may not be able to defend him or herself if bullied? That they may be introverted, too attached to electronic devices, and their grades are suffering? Karate America teaches 7 steps designed to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild in a safe, sanitized environment with all necessary precautions taken to prevent COVID. Please visit karateamerica.info to fill out a survey and learn if they can help your child.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused supports children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
The Rock, out of nowhere, buys the XFL during a pandemic, mind you, goes half in with his ex-wife. So now you're going to business with your ex-wife.
Brent Martineau.
I don't know if that's on the business advice list.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
We're just not good enough. We don't obviously chemistry, talent-wise, just everything. And it was clear, like I said, these last few games. And just from the beginning of the game, it was just aggressive. Veteran team, obviously, championship team, and one of the best teams that we have in this league. I love this city. I literally, have done everything that I can. This situation is crazy. It's something that I don't think can be fixed. So, thanks.
That was James Harden last night. Thanks. I'm not taking any more questions. I'm just going to give you that unbelievable statement and then walk out the door, which is kind of like what it feels like to me James Harden's doing. Listen, we don't cover the NBA in and out. I'm not in Houston. The James Harden saga is obviously huge. But my view of this is, I just tweeted it. He's the kid in the neighborhood, and everybody's got this kid in the neighborhood that says, something doesn't go right, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Yeah.
And James Harden is that kid.
They
gave the whole damn organization to James Harden. The whole thing was built around him.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't clutch enough to get it done. He was very good, but in the playoffs wasn't clutch enough to get it done. And then it starts falling apart. He doesn't want to help put it back together. He's out of there, and he basically quit on him. So am I reading that the wrong way? I don't want to. I guess I don't want to kill him if that's not even close to what happened. Maybe this is all Houston's fault. I'm sure they are to blame in some respect. But I'm telling you, I'm not even sure if I'm on the organization side. I just think Harden handled this really in a poor way the last couple of months in Houston.
Well, you just tweeted it, so there's no going back now. Kuz, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think, for the most part, Brent's right in the fact that they said this is James Harden's team. He wanted Westbrook. They went and got Westbrook. That didn't work, so they wanted
They
someone
turned the
else.
whole offense around him.
Yeah.
That offense ran through, they had D'Antoni. That offense was built for him.
To the point that other players were a little frustrated that he was getting, a quote-unquote, special treatment. So you're not wrong there, but also it's a little bit on the Rockets where in the offseason, Harden's like, yo, I want out. And they're like, nah, you got 2 more years on your contract. We're going to make this work, whether or not it's awkward or not. Well, now we're, 11 games into the season, and it is very awkward, and they're like, yo, we're trading him. He's done.
Well, and listen, that to me is what makes Jordan and James Harden, right? Because right now you're 3-6 in Houston, and you're acting like the sky has fallen. There is 3/4 of an NBA season left to play, and, you already quit. So, from a leadership standpoint, I get it. There's a lot of great scorers out there. There's a lot of great athletes out there, but there's very few leaders who have that dog in them that want to take on that challenge. And whether the fact that James Harden's exhausted from trying to be that guy or not, to me, it makes you look bad when you say, I'm done. You guys can't help me out. I got to go someplace else. It doesn't look good from his perspective. Now, he's going to a place in Brooklyn where he's going to have help, where he doesn't necessarily have to be the guy if he doesn't want to be the guy, right? Because KD's there. But I'm just saying.
And Irving.
Maybe Irving. We'll get into that in a second. But I'm just saying, in the game of basketball where you're trying to be the next Jordan, where you're trying to be the next Kobe, you should embrace the adversity. You should run to that adversity and put it on your back, not, leave and try to run away from it.
So big news dropping here. James Harden traded, and it is a litany of picks, and we're going to give you the whole trade. It involves 3 teams, by the way, and we're not talking about this, but just to give you a news update, this just in, President Trump impeached for a second time. That just happened in the last couple of moments. So 104.5 FM, WOKV, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax for all the latest on that. We'll hashtag stick to sports on this one.
Yeah. I mean, how deep down the rabbit hole you want to go today, Brett? My word.
I know.
Jeez.
Actually, Kaylee just said she's in the other room, and she's like, are you talking politics?
We do it all on this show, apparently.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
By the way, of that same note, like Steph's tutoring some kids, and I think a couple of them a lot of them by Zoom now.
Sure.
But some will come over, and I think there's some here, and I'm sitting here yelling. I'm sure she's like cringing at the fact these kids probably going home like some guy in the back of their house was just yelling the whole time.
These poor kids are going to go home to their families, talk about Lot J, their thoughts, and all that stuff. Nice job, Brent.
All right, so here's what I think, if I have the right. There's a lot of people involved in this.
This is a big deal, yeah.
James Harden, 3-way deal with Cleveland and Brooklyn. Karis LeVert, Dante Exum, Rodions Karooks, if I say that correct.
I think you nailed it.
4 first-round picks. 4.
Yeah.
Including the Cavs' 2022 first-round pick via the Bucks, by the way.
Yeah.
And 4 Nets picks swapped to the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't even consume all that, and I just read it.
The Nets are all like this is like the Nets just love going all in.
I mean, this is crazy.
This is
Jarrett
how it works,
Allen, Taurean Prince to the Cavs, and I mean, this is wild. Oladipo, by the way, goes to Houston.
Oh, I know.
So they're trading Karis LeVert from the Rockets to the Pacers for Oladipo.
Yeah. Okay. So LeVert ends up on the Pacers. Oladipo ends up in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh, I can't even read that. How did they put this thing together?
Well, that's what I had the problem was when it said it was when Woj said it was a 3-team deal. I was like, well, who's getting what? I just see a bunch of players' names and I don't know who's going where now.
Yeah.
It's so funny the value of picks in the NBA versus like the NFL, right? They're sending 4 first-round picks. Brooklyn is.
Yeah.
4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And now this does lead you to the Brooklyn Nets. I understand they have Kevin Durant, but what in the world is going on with Kyrie Irving? Like, did I see something today on Kyrie Irving? Again, we were working on a lot of different things, and I thought I heard that something to the effect of they're not sure he even wants to play anymore.
Yeah, there is talk about retirement now.
Yeah. Well,
what is going on with him?
Well, first of all, this is great news on this trade because if Urban Meyer doesn't make a decision by tonight or tomorrow, I'm just going to spend the whole day breaking down that trade tomorrow. Like, we're going to go in-depth, player by player, who won, who lost. Stay tuned. Urban Meyer, call my bluff and say I won't do it. Anyways, Kyrie Irving, he is like the greatest enigma to me in terms of professional sports. Because 1 minute, I respect the guy. I respect what he does for racial injustice. I respect him speaking out and kind of going down his own road and trying to get guys to go with him. And then the next minute, it's like you question, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you got to be a leader. And, like, this has kind of plagued Kyrie's career, right? When he was in Cleveland, he was this phenomenal player. Well, then it comes out that he had some choice things to say about LeBron James. Then he goes to Boston. You think he's going to shine there. He does well, but then doesn't fit in the culture, so they get rid of him. Like, I can't decide if I'm a Kyrie fan or I'm just blown back by all the, I don't call it stupidity, but all just, like, the head-scratching things that he's done in his entire career.
So who, like, is this a good forget about Kyrie Irving for a moment, although I think that's a critical part of it. Brooklyn might be saying, hey, we're not sure about Kyrie, so let's get Harden, and now we have Harden and Durant.
Yeah.
And by the way, Oklahoma City's saying, like, I remember that.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
how it started, now how it's going.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All they need is Westbrook, and then it's good.
And shoot, I mean, it's amazing to me I mean, Brooklyn really selling out right here, right? I mean, and now they already have potentially a guy in Kyrie Irving who we can't just figure out. And Harden, well, now hopefully he decides to play, right? Hopefully he's going to be happy that he's out of Houston and you get the same. But you got 2 guys now that need the basketball. Actually, 3 if Irving does play. Is the basketball big enough for those 3 guys? I know it's a question we ask a lot because of, like, the trio of stars in the NBA. But, I mean, those are 3 guys now you really think need the ball in their hands. Maybe a little bit less Durant, but Irving does, and we know Harden does.
Yeah, and then keep this in mind, too, Brent. You have a first-year coach in Steve Nash. Like I mean, listen, and notice. I mean, I think Steve Nash is a great mind. I mean, I'm not sure what he's bringing to in terms of his basketball IQ, in terms of a coach, but I remember watching him play growing up. Like, I mean, I got a lot of respect for that dude as a former player, and I'm sure if anybody can corral those personalities, those mindsets, it is Steve Nash. But I don't know, man. I just feel like you're mixing kerosene on one side, petroleum on the other side. I don't know. I mean, once again, it's like the ultimate boomer bust type of thing. But the catalyst behind this is Kyrie Irving, because you just can't say that you're not like he literally just went AWOL and didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, didn't tell his own coach, which is the part. But again, like when that first came out, because Kyrie's been very vocal about like social injustice. And,
of course, he's been great with that.
And when the bubble was going on, he was like, should we even be doing this because it'll distract?
Sure.
So when he first didn't show up for the game, and Steve Nash didn't know about it, it was kind of like, okay, you probably should tell your coach, but if this is a social injustice thing, then we understand.
Mm-hmm.
But then the photo comes out of him at the birthday party without a mask, and people are like, okay, when was this taken? And if it was when you were out, then what's going on? And, like, he did hop on because NBA protocols keeps him out for a few more games now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was last night they had a game tip off at 7:30, and there was a someone was running for a political position, was holding a Zoom call for Manhattan, and he jumped on the call, and people like noticed he was on the call right before the game was supposed to happen, and were like, hey, what's,
Yeah. Well, listen.
I got to get this Zoom call in.
Yeah.
No, forget about that $500,000 payday to play today.
Exactly. And listen, at the end of the day, like I respect the hell out of what Kyrie Irving does for, the social and racial injustices.
Right.
That's awesome. And that's great that you take pride in that. But you just can't not tell your teammates or your coach what you're doing. And I get it's for a great cause, but still, man, like they have, like you're still employed by the team. So you have to at least be a leader, be someone that people can look up to, and let your teammates know what's going on. If you got to miss a certain extended period of time, then so be it. But just don't go AWOL and not tell anybody. Like, who does that?
Is he – I just put this on Twitter, and again, I think this may be a bit harsh, but it reminds me of it, so I'm just being honest. I mean, is he the NBA's Antonio Brown right now? Where you just don't know where he's at. He's super talented, but you got to wonder if anybody wants him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's as messed up as it is to say that it's not. To me, it's so hard to say, Brent, because like the guy is so down for great causes, right? And that's a part of him, and I respect that part of him. But also, he's got a job to do, and when you don't tell your employer where you're going to be, well, that's very Antonio Brown-esque. And when we talk about being a distraction and almost being a nuisance to your team and hurting your team, being detrimental to your team, well, that's Antonio Brown-esque. So I agree with you. And I don't like saying it because I love Kyrie's game. I love what he brings to the table. But the way this thing has unfolded now the past, it seems like couple years, I would put him in Antonio Brown status for sure.
Yeah. It's a bit different, I understand, but it's just there's not too many guys like Antonio Brown in terms of the talent and how that all ended up. It feels like Kyrie. I don't know if another example on Kuz, again, you're locked in. Drive and Dish podcast, check it out, by the way, with the NBA. I mean, I don't even know of anybody else I'd bring up in that same breath. I mean, Kyrie Irving's starting to feel that way. First of all, you got to be super talented. Secondly, you got to do some bizarre things. And thirdly, it just feels like you're going to have to bounce around a little bit. And I feel like Kyrie Irving might be headed that way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if anybody else kind of pops up. Not in that caliber. Honestly, James Harden might be the next closest just because of what's going on right now with Houston, though he doesn't have like a history of it. So maybe this is a one-off thing. He gets what he wants, and now he's happy.
I mean, honestly, man, I have to go back to like Rodman, I guess, with this type of behavior. Where teams almost got to like take Kyrie by the hand and be like, okay, well, you got to do this, you got to do this, okay, like that's I think to the point we're at right now. And obviously, it worked out with Rodman and the Bulls, and they cultivated that, but it's a different era nowadays, Brent, with social media and things like that, and everyone's got an opinion. I feel like you can't get away with that anymore.
And to that, that's a big credit to the coach in that situation. Jackson was kind of helping that. So can Steve Nash do that?
A first-year coach? I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll see if he can handle it. All right, we come back. We get back to the Jags coaching search and conversation about coaches in general. It's on the way. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Big news once again. James Harden traded to the Brooklyn Nets, and there's a bevy of people involved and teams involved in that from Houston to Brooklyn. And also news out of the political world. In our nation's capital, President Donald Trump has been impeached for a second time. More on that on CBS 47, Fox 30, and 104.5 FM.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Hump Day. I'm Jake Mitchell. Former Jags head coach Gus Bradley has landed himself a new gig in Las Vegas as the defensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders. Remember, he helmed the Jaguars for 3 years. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers will probably be the NFL MVP this year, but that's not all. He'll also be a guest host of legendary TV show Jeopardy! He also appeared on the show as a celebrity contestant in 2015. Here he is talking about this year's 13-3 team versus last year's 13-3 team.
I feel like we have a lot of confidence this year. We believe in ourselves. Offensively, we're just a much better team than we were. We're a much more efficient team. That helps for sure. On the offensive side of the ball, last year we were just so up and down. I think that's been the biggest difference offensively is we're playing with a lot more confidence.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
I got lambasted on social media for a small, mild bit of criticism of Gardner Minshew.
Careful now, because you've been in that guy's house, so be careful.
I get crushed when I say too many positive things, moral victories, and I criticize the QB a little bit because that's what I saw.
Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Do you know that there are 7 steps that can help to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild, even though they may have trouble controlling their anger or lack of focus or respect for others? Karate America takes pride in the tens of thousands of children they've impacted. Imagine your child or grandchild showing and earning respect, setting and achieving goals, and making good grades. Visit karateamerica.info to see if Karate America's leadership program is a good fit for your child.
In 2021, the new motto is Seize the Day. So you gotta go to Arlington Toyota, because their super low lease payments are gonna put a brand new Toyota in your driveway tonight. Right now at Arlington, lease a new 2021 Camry LE for as low as $186 a month. Or lease a new 2021 Tacoma SR5 Double Cab V6 for just $259 a month. Seize the day and make 2021 yours in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Shop safely in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/January for full details.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late, and that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks and ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and a lot happening. James Harden trade, of course. Just talked about that Lot J vote fails here in Jacksonville last night. We have been talking much about that and love to have you involved. 904-362-9901. The Urban Meyer Watch continues. The next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars search continues. And we'll get to more on coaching in just a moment. But right now it's time for our Money Minute. Let's bring in our friend Mike Lester from Talon Wealth Management. Good evening, Mike. Hope you're doing well. And give us an update on the market.
Hey, good evening. Doing real well. Markets they're pretty flat today. But, overall, I think the number one question that at least I'm getting, and I think is in a lot of people's minds when it comes to markets and finance is, this inauguration, it's all over the news. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have seen it. No doubt about it. The inauguration coming up next week. And obviously the news just came in. President Trump impeached for a second time. That just broke in the last 10 minutes. And so I would imagine the markets, although it hasn't been too reactionary, will we see that around inauguration time next week?
Yeah, I think just a big concern people have. And I don't know that markets are going to react much to, the impeachment. I don't think that, personally, I don't think that the inauguration issue is going to be a big deal, but it makes sense that people are worried about it. I mean, just all the drama that keeps playing out, every one of the sort of 24/7 news channels is, airing it and airing it and airing it. And so what I'd say is, take a close look at your portfolio. Maybe it's a 401k, maybe you're working with a financial advisor. Just understand how it's likely to react to market changes. I personally don't think that the inauguration, first of all, I don't think it's going to go horribly wrong, or there's going to be a whole lot of trouble. But even if there was trouble, I mean, wouldn't you want to be sort of prepared and understand what's likely to happen? And that's what we do through analysis of your portfolio, whether it's your 401k, whether it's your IRA, just money you've got set aside for retirement. The key is just being prepared. So, and then to have an action plan. So if you're prepared, you're going to have an action plan. You're going to know what to do if things get really rocky.
Well, Mike Lester will help you out with that. Appreciate it, Mike. Money Minute here on Wednesdays on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, Talon Wealth Management. And make sure you check out guardingyournestegg.com, or you can call Mike at 904-515-5000 and listen to Guarding Your Nest Egg on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday morning, right here on ESPN 690. Mike, appreciate your time. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you. That's Mike Lester from Talon Wealth Management. And no doubt, everybody keeping an eye on the markets and the way they have been. So if you are closer and closer to retirement or just have questions about the market, go give Mike Lester a call at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000, or visit guardingyournestegg.com. Brent Martineau here, Austin Lane, back in the Action Sports Jack studios once again. All quiet on the Urban Meyer front as of right now. We continue to watch, and not just the Urban Meyer front, the coaching front. Yeah. Let me ask you this, because we're going to go to a break here soon. Some more Lot J discussion potentially on the way. And if you have thoughts, I know some folks getting out of work will reset that talk. And also the Urban Meyer talk coming up in the final hour of the show. But we have been inviting phone calls, 904-362-9901, if you want to comment on what has been a pretty emotional topic over the last 24 hours. But we've had great discussion on it early part of the show today. But on the coaching front, the one name that I guess I'm a little surprised we haven't heard about from a Jags point of view, and however this lands, this whole process, they might not talk to Brian Daboll.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Is that surprising?
Very surprising, because he was actually he was number 2 on my list. It was Bieniemy number 1, and then it was 2A, 2B between Daboll and then Urban Meyer. So I am extremely surprised, because if you look at the resume, you look at where he's come from, right? Spent some time in Alabama. Obviously won a championship there, a very winning tradition in Alabama. Spent some time in New England, knows what that culture is all about. And if you watch the development of Josh Allen, this kid from Wyoming who people were kind of hot and cold on, and you watch how he's been able to, number one, increase the confidence of Josh Allen, but also put pieces around Josh Allen to be successful, whether it's the offense or getting guys like Diggs. He's done a great job in developing a very young quarterback. And when you talk about Trevor Lawrence, who could be the quote-unquote savior of the city, the fact that you wouldn't even give Brian Daboll a chance or just even an interview is kind of crazy to me. So now whether that's the case of he's in the playoffs and whatever, but I feel like if you're truly interested in that type of dude, you do whatever you can to interview him.
Well, the only guy they did, Arthur Smith, was on Sunday, and of course he had to wait after that wild card game, but they could have done a similar thing with Daboll. And again, I always warn that just because a national guy hasn't connected or none of us have reported, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Doesn't mean there weren't any inquiries or anything like that. I've had a feeling where people know where the dots are connected. The Jags, maybe they just want to do a handful of interviews, and maybe they thought potentially that Daboll could be connected to Houston or somewhere else, or maybe the shine on Daboll isn't internally as much as it is externally.
I don't know.
But I will say this. Here's what I liked about Daboll, okay, as you watch the games unfold over the weekend, and of course, the Josh Allen thing is certainly right on the money. But how he's utilized Stephon Diggs as well, right? I mean, they go get him, and they make sure he's a focal point of the offense. But what I liked, and you compare it to the Colts and even, I think it was the Titans, I want to say, over the weekend. They want to run the ball. They want to play some physical, but style. And so down near the goal line, I believe those guys, Colts and Titans, it was handoff on first down and goal from the 9. And if you look at the Bills, what they did, it was like they had a first and goal from like the 6, and they would play action. And then, of course, they had the great play, right, where it was Josh Allen, and I think he hit Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
That play to me was still a little peculiar. Like, I don't know if it was the design jump pass. I don't know if it was improvisation because he almost got tackled on the play. But I just thought there was more creativity down in the red area where things get scrunched up and you often get turned away for a field goal than it was with some of the other teams. And I really like that about Daboll. He was aggressive.
Well, exactly. And listen, when we talk about the Buffalo Bills, you talk about McDermott, what he brought. Like, they always had that identity. They're going to play good defense and run the football and pass second. All of a sudden, Daboll comes in and completely flips the script. You get Josh Allen, and then keep in mind, you take a chance on Stephon Diggs, right? Because he wasn't working out in Minnesota, didn't get along with Mike Zimmer. One could wonder, was it a really good investment? Well, obviously it was in spades, but Daboll took a chance on him. That team took a chance on him to increase Josh Allen's productivity, and I want to see the same thing happen with Trevor Lawrence. So I'm very surprised they haven't interviewed him.
Yeah, me too. I'm a little surprised there isn't more of a link. And quite frankly, I'm not sure the link is all over the rest of the other vacancies as well. I think his name is of interest, but I'm not sure it's going to be a slam dunk he ends up somewhere. There was some thought today that Eric Bieniemy might not get a coaching job this cycle. We'll give you an update on some of the other coaching vacancies and the Jaguars. What's the latest with Urban Meyer? It's coming up. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Boss, have you heard the latest about the ding-dong doorbell cameras?
What, more employees spying on customers?
Nope.
Hackers again?
No, boss, this time they had to recall over 350,000 video doorbells.
Recall? What happened?
A bunch of them caught fire.
Whoa, unbelievable. It's one thing after another with them.
Yeah. Notice you never hear that with Safe Touch's video cameras?
Well, now you're just comparing a Bentley with a bumper car.
Exactly. I just don't understand why any homeowner wouldn't go with Safe Touch.
Yeah, their video monitoring's virtually hack-proof. Oh, and here's a bonus. Safe Touch cameras don't burst into flames.
No kidding.
It's just a good thing not everyone knows about Safe Touch, because we got to stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah, don't gotta tell me twice.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence. Or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit guaranteed, or your visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 904-206-8105. We guarantee that you'll see results on your first visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
I'm Marcus Roberts, a jazz pianist and a proud graduate of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, a state public school available at no cost to eligible K-12 Florida students who are deaf, blind, or both. FSDB prepares students for a lifetime of success, allowing them to do more, be more, and achieve more. For more information, call 800-342-3732 or visit www.fsdbk12.org.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Assurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Pro Extra is the Home Depot's free loyalty program built for pros. Members earn perks just for shopping, like new Pro Extra dollars or tool rental perks. Get exclusive benefits every day that save time and money. And here's an extra, $20 off your next in-store purchase of $200 or more, just for signing up. Want to save? Join Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Visit the Pro Desk in-store at homedepot.com/Pro Extra for details.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
I'm Action News Jack's Tanika Hughes, and one of the great things about living in Jacksonville is our diverse communities. It's so important that the local stories we cover in our newscasts reflect the people who live here. That's why we've launched Action News Jack's Gets Real, to get real on issues like racism, housing challenges, and unequal access to health care. It's having difficult conversations, as well as celebrating people making a difference. This is Action News Jack's gets real. Real talk, real change.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Final hour here on a Wednesday. So let's make it a great hour. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos. Really a lot of good discussion today on Lot J, the failed vote. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, get back into it, just in case you're jumping in the car or on your way home or just tuning in. I mean, you should be listening from 3 to 6, but we understand sometimes not everybody can make it.
Well, that, and you can always go back and listen to us as well.
You can. The Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast.
That's a setup.
Coos, you said the podcast's doing pretty well, right?
Yeah, podcast is doing really well.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're excited about that. We didn't really know that until recently.
Mm-hmm.
But podcast is performing, Austin.
Well, to me, it's not performing until I can start selling some Omaha steaks. That's when you know you made it in the podcast game. Hey, I'm lost away for Omaha steaks. Use code word A-Train and get 20% off those steaks. Yeah.
Is that like a big podcast sponsor?
Yeah.
Because there are some that just do podcasts, right?
Yeah. I mean, Brent, I'm to the point where if I got to start, slinging male pattern baldness cream, I'll do that myself. I don't care. I have no shame anymore. I'm that desperate. So sales, hopefully you're listening. And you take that advice, I'll sell anything. I don't care. Even if it makes me look bad and people start to remember, oh, you see, Austin Lane's got some problems in the bedroom. I don't care. Let's go. Write the checks.
I love your ability to sell out.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love that. Now, you really made it when you get that far, man.
That's how you know you're in the industry.
You just have no shame anymore. Whatever. I'm slinging it. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, by the way, do you know tomorrow? I just thought of this. I forgot about it. Tomorrow will be our 2-year anniversary.
No way.
Yeah.
Are we doing something? I mean, are you gonna be at home or what's up? Do you have any plans?
Dude, Listen, I've had some sinus allergy stuff the last few days. That's why I stay home, and I might be stretching it a little bit today.
All right. Well,
but I kind of like being home. I know my family hates it, but if it's really in one way, it's a lot easier. First of all, I do still have some, so I don't want to be sneezing and all that. That's really my main concern around not only the radio studio but the TV studio.
Us, for sure.
And so I'd rather just let it go and clear it up. But at the same time, if news breaks, it's so much easier going on TV from radio right here instead of from the actual radio studio where I got to go downstairs.
Yeah.
So it's just I just take the headphones on, I put the mic on, and boom. It's the same camera, same everything.
So are we not going to ever see you again, or what's the plan here, Brent?
It might isn't that better?
Man, I don't know. I enjoy your company, despite what you may think, but that's fine. Coos, I'm going to bring some bottle rockets and Roman candles tomorrow. We'll fire them off in the parking lot for our 2-year anniversary before the show.
By the way, there's a crow that sits out there.
Oh, let's take it down.
Oh my God, it is
that could be some kind of
PETA.
PETA.
Yeah, but it is annoying. But
I'll take it out.
10:30 to about noon, it just is making noise.
All right, well then I'll bring some fireworks tomorrow. Well, I should announce that because I'm not sure if that's legal right now. But we'll just do it before the show.
Well, we're planning on maybe having a party later this month. I have no idea where that's at because you know why?
It's going to be on Zoom or what? What are we talking about?
Here's what happens, right?
All right.
You talk about that was fun last year. We had the 1 year anniversary party. And obviously things are a little bit different this year. So we don't know what we're doing. But we had a meeting back in, I hope nobody that was in that meeting is listening right now, but we had a meeting back, I want to say around December 10th or 12th.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you this because I know this is the way it works. Nothing gets done between December 15th and now.
Yeah.
Nobody does anything. They can claim they do everything, and wanted to. They don't do anything for 2 weeks, like the business world, right?
No, okay.
Because
I
everyone
thought you were talking about our bosses, but okay, go on.
No.
Okay.
Like the business world shuts down for 2 weeks. Well, one of our bosses on paternity leave, by the way. He's probably listening. Congratulations on the new.
Yeah,
new
it's
baby.
awesome, dude.
And he deserves the time off. But so you get 2 weeks off around like Christmas time, and the business world kind of shuts down. And then what happens the next week, guys? When everybody comes back, they just play catch up.
Oh yeah.
So
Everyone's
nothing
rejuvenated.
happens. You just play catch up because you didn't check your email for 2 weeks. You're like Austin with 30,000 emails.
Hey, don't sell me short. I got now. 58,858 guys. We're almost eclipsing 60,000.
Get ready. It's the one tip I would give to kids coming out of college is don't ever take the week in between Christmas and New Year's or the week before Christmas off, because you're essentially off anyway because no one's in the building.
Yeah, good point.
It's a good point.
And Brent, I'm going to need to stop hating on my emails because my work email is like a crisp 175 right now, and I'm keeping up to date with that one.
That's impressive.
Dude, I'm making, you don't know this, but I'm making transactions. I'm CCing people. You know what CC means?
Yes, I do.
What does it mean? What does it stand for? All right, you're lucky. You're lucky that time.
I'm assuming you're a guy that doesn't reply all.
No, only when I truly have to. Only when I must be heard, but it hasn't really happened a lot.
Yeah, well, 58,000 emails is something. That's impressive.
Thank you.
But anyway, bottom line is I have no idea if we're having a party or not. I forget where we left off. Like, I haven't heard from anybody since December 12th.
Well, and it was kind of I mean, when I say I say like the upper management. It was kind of their idea, right? Like they want to do another party.
I was surprised that we were going to do it. Like, I think we were going to try to do something and then maybe Zoom people in. Like, that might be a concept.
Yeah.
But it's pretty challenging, too. So, because here's what else is coming up on our last I like these milestones, by the way. Like, I'm big. To me, I'm celebrating them. Who knows if we make it
2
this far,
years, man.
Right? But
you're
the
not
other
mom
thing
didn't get fired yet. In your face.
Yeah. The other thing we're coming up on is our 500th show later this month.
Wow.
Like, I counted. There'll be 500 of them.
Yeah.
So.
Dang. That's crazy to even think about.
We have survived, man.
The
over-under, I told you on this thing, was somewhere between 8 and 18 months, depending on where you had it in Vegas.
Yeah.
And now we're cruising up toward like 30.
Hey, Brent, you know what? I wouldn't call it survival. You know what we've done? We've adapted.
That's
what we're doing.
What Urban Meyer does, too.
You better believe
we're going to take Lot J in just a moment, but real quick, because I just teased it. There was some thought about Urban Meyer and the Chargers floating in again today, according to a national report.
Yeah.
First of all, I think it's whatever. I don't think it's happening. I think it's just kind of floating out there. Why not? But I also, there really isn't a choice for Urban Meyer between I think L.A. has a good job. The Chargers' job is a pretty good job. I just don't think it makes sense for Urban Meyer versus what he would have in Jacksonville. Am I being a homer?
No, I don't think you're being a homer necessarily. Like, yes, you have your quarterback in place already in Justin Herbert. That helps a little bit. But I just think, the only appeal to L.A. would be, well, doesn't he live in L.A. already with Fox Sports? So, in terms of...
No, he just flies there, man.
Oh, he flies there.
Yeah,
okay,
he lives in Columbus.
Okay, I got you. Well, then, yeah, I guess you're not really missing much. I mean, maybe the weather could be a little better. It's not as much as humidity. But, no.
But I know listen, Herbert's good.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence I'd rather, if I'm a coach, I'm going to take my chances with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert.
No, for sure. But keep in mind as well, Urban Meyer, he has ties to this state. I mean, he was the coach of the Florida Gators for a while. I think that he's in a market here in Florida where obviously right now I think, the Bucks seem to be king, and then you have the Miami Dolphins that are kind of, rising a little bit. And the Jaguars are vying for that spot, but you have a place in L.A. where, the Lakers are probably king, right? The Rams are
You're
king.
The second fiddle there.
Yeah, so I think
you're like the Jets.
Ooh, you are the Jets. Urban, try to be the Jets. But I'll be honest, though, man. They got cool uniforms. I'm not sure if Urban Meyer's into that, but they got really cool uniforms.
Yeah, Chargers uniforms are cool.
Yeah.
Not a lot of hate for the Chargers organization. I'm just saying.
No.
The biggest one is the ownership, man. The ownership has long been kind of an issue at times in L.A. Or San Diego. That's not the belief in league circles here. I understand people are don't love the fact that this team hasn't won a lot and they put a lot of blame on Shad Khan. But internally in the league, this is a good job because of Shad Khan. And so in an L.A. versus Jacksonville spot alone, I think the ownership would win out. I think Shad Khan would be a big benefit in the Urban Meyer sweepstakes for that. All right, what about the Ben Becker sweepstakes? Let's bring him in. We had him on yesterday before the Lot J vote. Let's bring him in right now. Action News Jack, CBS 47, Fox 30. He was there covering it. He gave us some great insight over the last couple of months on it. And now the reaction. How surprised were you, Ben, that Lot J failed last night?
Well, considering I picked all the no votes earlier in the day, I'd say not entirely surprised about that.
Good
Give myself a pat on the back.
I saw that. I saw that you did that. But you were still a little unsure about a couple of those swing votes, but you did say that was plausible, right?
Yeah, those 7 people went no, although one was a swing vote. At the end of the day, some of those people gave indications early on. We knew where they were going to go. Some we didn't know for sure, but we know now, obviously, that the 7 went against it, and they all had their reasons for doing it. And you could parse that whatever way you want. And I'm willing to parse it, but it's it's dead. Lot J is dead, at least for now.
Yeah, and now they might move on to the shipyards. More on that maybe in a bit. But I texted you, and you texted me, and we're going back and forth a little bit. I think the mayor deserves some blame here. I said that top of the show. I like the mayor. He's been good to me. I don't cover him like you do, Ben. We're in a different world.
The mayor doesn't like me as much as you, Brett.
I know that. I know that. That is for sure a thing. I think the mayor does like me more. But I also can't let that blind me from the fact that I think there have been missteps in their administration over the last couple of months, couple of weeks, maybe even going back a year, that have created a little bit of mistrust from the JEA stuff. And I think the council brought that up. And I really believe that this had a little bit of political vengeance to it from the comments made by some of the no voters. While I believe they weren't convinced it was a great deal, and that was also one of the reasons they were going to say no, I think what their comments were before they said no basically said, we're doing this because of the mayor.
I would say this. You could say that just as much as the people who voted yes were politically motivated to say yes. It's city council. Everyone's politically motivated. So whether because they like the guy or don't like the guy, everyone has their reasons for doing it. I talked to a council person yesterday who, trust me, they are no fan of the mayor, okay? But they voted yes because they had a political reason to vote yes. And some people have political reasons to vote no, but that cuts both ways. And now, personally, you have people that are both sides of the aisle, how they feel about the mayor, whether they like him or they don't like him. I think push comes to shove. Does it help you if everyone likes you? Yeah, it certainly does. And the mayor hasn't made a lot of friends with some of those people. Now, out of the people who voted no, you can't say across the board they were all politically motivated and they all don't like the mayor. There's a number of them that really voted with how they felt, and he wasn't able to convince them, and that's the bottom line. He was not able to convince them. The Jags were not able to convince them, and they did not go through those channels that we've talked about before of going through DIA to be able to make this deal more plausible for it to happen, which means making it more financially viable. There's a lot of financial issues to this deal that just were not addressed.
This is a bit more hypothetical. Ben Becker with us from CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax. If that spat doesn't happen on social media a couple weeks ago between one of the council members and the mayor, do you think it passes?
Garrett Dennis and him have a long history. I don't think it took a Twitter spat on social media for Garrett to feel any different about the mayor than he did before. Garrett Dennis already had an opinion, I'm sure, about the mayor. Did it help? No. But I would believe that, Garrett Dennis voted how he felt like he wanted to vote. And, remember this. He got concessions ahead of time on the Thursday meeting towards this. And, people forget, okay, those concessions weren't even for his own district. That was for East Side. That's Reggie Gaffney's district. So, he went the way he felt like it wasn't a good deal. And that's how the 6 others went. So I wouldn't say that he voted that way just because he got called out on social media. I don't think that necessarily pushed him over the edge. What pushed him over the edge was the fact that this was a deal that was not negotiated in public. It was negotiated between the administration and the team. It was not negotiated through DIA like almost every other deal is in downtown.
What about the scoreboard deal, the Daly's Place deal? Would those have been different because they're not on this scale? Or were they negotiated basically with the mayor's office as well? That's what I understand.
Yeah, I believe that's because that's tied to the lease. And I think that's why those are negotiated in the manner in which they were negotiated.
But isn't Lot J associated with the lease as well?
Not my understanding, because remember, there's no lease extension tied to this. To me, my understanding is it's not. If I'm wrong on that, you can correct me. But even if it's not, even if they could do it, you still go through DIA to do it, especially for a project of this scale. We're talking about $233 million plus interest, putting it nearly $400 million of public money.
All right, one more for you. Okay. And Austin might have one for you too. But what about the shipyards now? They said, or let me ask you this: somebody said,
Can I hit you on one more point on the investment? Because everyone likes to talk about how Schott is putting up half the money. Well, listen, the Jags never revealed their financials on this. We never learned the construction cost. They would not release that information. So there was estimates that this is really a $250 million project, not $450. So at the end of the day, if the city puts up $250 million and the Jags are there, okay, we're willing to pick up half. Well, it's already built, so the Jags are paying 50% of zero. Okay, so that's something I think has been lost on people because the financials would not be released by Cordish or the Jaguars.
The one thought I had, because I've got this question, and Jim on Twitter has said it, why don't they try to renegotiate this deal and just flip a vote? My thought on that, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong or your thoughts on it, but they've put 3 years of work into this, I believe, in Lot J. And while you could try to work that might be a fruitless finish line. What are your thoughts on trying to they were one vote short. I mean, could they just try to flip a vote?
Right. Well, first off, it could be reintroduced within a year. All it takes is one person to reintroduce it. For it to be reintroduced, it can have minor modifications, nothing major. So I don't know how minor will be defined. I don't know if the red box becomes, more of a grant partially, but it can be reintroduced. So that is possible. And if the Jags are willing to make a concession on that, who knows what could happen? Maybe they could get a vote to flip. There are certainly flippable votes out of the 7. But the Jags refused to come off the $65 million on the breadbox loan, interest-free 50 years. They would not move off that number. So, those council people felt like their backs are up against the wall. Now, as far as the other thing with the shipyards, well, the shipyards, move on to that right now. But let's keep this in mind. And I did a story on this back in October. Mosh going over there, which, by the way, Shad Khan is giving $5 million to, well, part of the capital improvement for the city for the next 4 or 5 years is having a city civic location over there, a civic property over there that would enable them to remediate the property and spend $20 million because they have toxic issues on that land, just like they have toxic issues at Lot J. So there could be fix of $20 million, and then Shad Khan can do his development over there with the Mosh. So the Mosh coming over there opens things up to spend money that has already been allocated for that. If that all makes sense. I hope I explained that well. I tried my best.
It is a confusing piece of land at times, no doubt about it. Austin, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. So, Ben, obviously, and listen, regardless of where you align politically, if you're listening to this show, I think that I would speak for most of our audience when I say that people want to see the city grow and they want to see development. And obviously, this Lot J deal didn't come to fruition. Now, Mark Lamping has said that they're going to pursue the shipyards. I guess, if you're Shad Khan and you watch what's transpired now with the Lot J voting and you didn't really get what you wanted, what can you take away to ensure that this doesn't happen again and that you get what you want with the shipyards?
I'm going to tell you what a member of City Council told me. They said the failure of Lot J was 100% because of the Curry administration. That's their words, not mine. Next negotiation is going to not involve the mayor's office. Jags handle it themselves, go through DIA, and they'll have a much easier and better time with it. It will be handled better. That was their words.
Yeah, I think they almost are forced to because it didn't work out the way things shook out last night with the failure of the Lot J vote. Ben Becker, Action News Jack, CBS 47, Fox 30. Thanks for jumping on with some insight, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. No wrestling, though.
Yeah, what the heck, Brent? Come on. If you want to talk wrestling, you send Ben. Everybody knows that. And I can't even get my wrestling question in for him. Unbelievable,
I kind of forgot. I thought that's where you were going to go, and then you asked like a legitimate question.
Heaven forbid I take anything seriously on this show ever. I know. Sometimes I surprise you.
Hey, Austin.
Yeah.
If you had all the money in the world and you own the Jaguars and they just turned you down and whatever, because at the end of the day, they still turned Shad down. They turned it down maybe because of the mayor's office, they still turned down Shad. Like, if I'm Shad, I'm like, they turned me down, right? So
sure.
that's the way I'm thinking. We talked about this last week. Why not just go build your own facility for your football team and say, all right, well, whenever you guys want to dance a little bit more, give me a call. But I'm going to spend some money on our football team and build a facility. And I'm going to buy this piece of land and do it.
I understand that, Brent, but if your goal is innovation and growth, like, does that really grow the city? It helps your team that you're running, but does it help this city? Like, I truly think Shad Khan wants to help grow this city. I think he's taking it upon himself to be like, I want to revitalize the city. I want to be the guy that said, you know what? Jacksonville was a certain way before I got here, and after I left it, now look at flourishing. And you can't do that by going off on your own tangent and helping out the football team.
I think you just answered it in a really good way, because I think what that answer does is show you the commitment Shad Khan has to developing downtown.
True.
And I still think a lot of people want to make that happen. I want to see it happen. And hopefully they can reach an agreement the next time it comes about. We don't know when that will be now. Could be just push this off even longer and longer, but we will find out.
And listen, and regardless, I mean, obviously what happened today. I just hope, and once again, I don't want to tell Shad Khan how to do anything because the guy is far more successful than I am, but hopefully we take some learning lessons from this experience and we use that to get better.
Well, yeah, I think one of the learning lessons is just what Ben said. I don't think they're going to be going through the mayor's office on the next, negotiation.
And so be it.
So, hey, we'll be back. Hey, we got about 30 minutes to get Urban Meyer hired before the end of the show. Let's see if it happens. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clouds and even a bit of light rain into this evening, then clearing skies later tonight as temperatures drop to near 40 degrees. Plenty of sun for Thursday and a nice afternoon high around 65. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
If you love golf or know somebody who does, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus cart fees with a Dream 18 golf cart at great area golf courses like St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River Golf Club, and Eagle Landing Golf Club. And this isn't just a golf cart. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 cart for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy. Hi, I'm Larry Self, owner of The Casket Store. For the past 20 years, we've been helping people plan ahead with affordable options and quality products. Often people are caught by surprise and in the midst of their grief end up paying much more for the exact same casket. We offer cemetery headstones, bronze markers, caskets, urns, and more at 40 to 70% off standard funeral prices. Please visit us at thecasketstore.com.
I'm Action News Jax Tanika Hughes, and one of the great things about living in Jacksonville is our diverse communities. It's so important that the local stories we cover in our newscasts reflect the people who live here. That's why we've launched Action News Jax Gets Real, to get real on issues like racism, housing challenges, and unequal access to health care. It's having difficult conversations, as well as celebrating people making a difference. This is Action News Jax Gets Real. Real talk, real change.
Boss, hit the gas! What's going on? You were supposed to check to see if that house had anyone home. Now their porch is on fire.
Boss, I didn't do it. The ding-dong doorbell camera just burst into flames and started melting.
Oh, so it's true. Those things are fire hazards.
Yeah, and now we know another big difference between those cheap ding-dong doorbell cameras and a Safe Touch security system.
Well, yeah, with Safe Touch, homeowners don't have to worry about their video cameras getting hacked.
Or employees spying on customers.
Or bursting into flames.
Uh-oh. Fire department's coming, boss. Time to go.
I'm way ahead of you. By the way, your eyebrows are completely gone.
Oh, well. Maybe it's an improvement.
Just so I know you still got your senses, recite the Crooks Are Us golden rule again.
Stay away from safe touch houses. Don't worry. It's burned into my brain.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
If you love golf, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 a round, plus card fees, with the Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like the Golf Club at Southampton, the club at Osprey Cove, and Hidden Hills Golf Club. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for just $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
Welcome to Jacksonville's Frisch Family Holocaust Memorial Gallery. It's a free educational resource with rotating exhibits. It's so important we remember. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for remembrance. Here for Jax. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
The hardest part of any goal is oftentimes getting started. All month long, we're going to help you get started on the path for a happier you for free. To hear from our experts and check out upcoming shows from personal health to your home's health, visit GetStartedJax.com.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
There's 3 islands, and it can be very nice and lucrative, by the way. You could be a huge winner, but you could be a huge loser, too. You might not have a boat to get home.
Austin Lane.
Well, I like that now. I love that analogy.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Is an opportunity like this one ever going to come again? Here's what I mean by that. An organization that needs a new GM that's going to have a completely clean slate. He can come in and he can remake that place in his own image, right? You've got a ton of draft capital. 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, 2 sevenths. You have a generational quarterback prospect coming out this year in Trevor Lawrence that you're going to have the ability to draft. You have the most cap space in the league. You have patient ownership.
That is Albert Breer, and I'm eating a chocolate chip cookie. I wasn't ready. See, you don't have that at the office.
Just living. No, but we do have these, those, what do you call those, Coos? Bretta cookies? Yeah, it's not is it Belvita?
Belvita breakfast biscuits.
Is it Belvita? Yeah.
Oh, you guys love those.
Hey, I mean,
blueberry ones.
To be honest, we're kind of addicted to them, actually. Like, it's starting to be an issue.
Which airline gives those out on flights now? Is it Southwest?
I'm not sure.
One of them does. I've had them on the airline, yeah.
I had to do
but you're probably flying first class. We can't get to that. So
I had to do a
that's a charter jet.
I had to do a price comparison, though, because they upped our prices here at the vending machine.
Yeah, it's messed up, man. They keep jacking those prices up, Brent, because we keep buying them.
Well, yeah, see, supply and demand. It's basically just both of you.
But if they do it one more time, if they
Coos is doing some homework.
If they bump it up to over $1 for one of them, then we can go to the Wawa down the street that does 2 for $1.
We have it all figured out.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
See that? Watch your step, vending machine.
Yep. And now, Coos and I don't want to snitch on anybody here, but we might have had to use some intimidation tactics against some of our other employees in the building. Because they're fans of them too, but we've kind of steered them clear towards the chocolate ones or the cinnamon ones because the blueberries are reserved for Coos and myself.
See, good idea. But, I mean, you got to watch that pricing. You got to watch how many times you say no. That's my point with Shad Khan. It's billionaire money, you know? I mean, you got to be careful downtown.
And I'm telling you, man, if someone comes between me and these blueberry biscuits, they'll get punched in the face. It's personal, okay? Politics are personal, and my relationship with these Belvita blueberry biscuits are very personal.
And I tried to help you out. I used some reverse psychology. I was talking up the cinnamon ones like they were the best
Brent,
ones.
You got no idea, man. The pyramid scheme and just like the ins and outs, the moving and shaking, what we're doing right now, you have no idea. You're just at home eating chocolate chip cookies. Coos and I are running this whole gambit right now.
I'm just trying to figure out the difference between a loan and a grant.
There you go.
Oh, man, nothing new on the urban front, just to tell you, folks.
You sound so dejected. I'm telling you, watch AEW tonight.
I'm telling you, I have so many folks that say, or that there's a real feeling that things would be done by now. Or at least, I shouldn't say done. At least maybe some reports flying, rumors flying. And there's really just not much. I mean, we just heard from Albert Breer. And Breer's like an Ohio State guy, and doesn't sound like too much new on that. I mean, we've heard that, all the national guys we've heard. So this just in, though. Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence wins the Bobby Bowden Trophy, awarded to college football student athlete of faith, and conducts himself as an exemplary model in classroom, on the field, on campus, and in the community. So, future Jacksonville Jaguar. He is just
no.
I mean, is there anything wrong with this guy?
Should have been
Trevor Lawrence.
Should have been called the Tim Tebow Award, but that's cool. What now?
Is there anything wrong with Trevor Lawrence? I mean, this is the most perfect individual of all time, I feel like.
No, I mean, I had some notes written down. I thought I had a problem with this pregame song they listened to because you remember we've talked about this. I've done a lot of homework about Trevor Lawrence, and I've dug deep about some things. The one thing I couldn't come around on was his pregame song, and I can't find it right now. We'll come back to that. But no, overall, man, listen, this is the cool thing about it. Right? Because if you're going to get Baker Mayfield or Johnny Manziel, you're excited. You're going to sell tickets. You're going to sell jerseys, all that stuff. But that comes with a caveat, right? It comes with an uber personality, let's just say. And Baker Mayfield, I think, has really shined, right? He's kind of come into his own a little bit. I feel like the off-field distractions have left him, and it's more about who he is on the field more than off the field. Now, the commercials, I mean, let's be honest. When he's winning, the commercials are hilarious. I can't stop laughing at them. I mean, they're genius commercials. The one where he's frying the Thanksgiving stuff, the turkey, and then the big fryer, mwah, chef's kiss. I don't know who thought about that commercial, but it's fantastic. Well, with Trevor Lawrence, you're not getting the larger-than-life personality. You're getting the larger-than-life talent. And to me, that's the way you want it. We always talk about the double standard of quarterbacks. It's a real thing. You want your quarterbacks at home the whole time, studying game film. You don't want them out at Jack's Beach. No disrespect to anybody out there, but you don't want them out at Jack's Beach, gallivanting with the town folk. You want them focused, locked, and loaded, ready to go. Not to say that's Trevor Lawrence's MO, being focused, locked, and loaded, ready to go, but I'm just saying I don't think he's going to be a distraction. I think he's going to be in it to win it. He's going to be a great leader. And if you're a Jaguars fan, that's what you want to see.
I really do think we haven't talked a lot about Trevor Lawrence lately. We did a little bit yesterday and what kind of offense maybe an Urban Meyer would run. Or, there's a lot of thought that Bieniemy could be really good for him. I think Arthur Smith has proven to be good for Tannehill. People question whether it would be, you're not having Derrick Henry, though, in the backfield. So I think it's interesting to see who matches up with Trevor the best. But you almost also wonder, is this guy just so good that he'll adapt to anybody? We talk about Urban Meyer as the guy who could adapt. I don't know if he needs to be with a certain coach, certain style coach, certain personality coach. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, I don't know his high school coach very well, if he's different demeanor than Dabo or a little bit more like it, So there's some of those things that we don't know about Trevor Lawrence. But, man, I mean, you talk about checking boxes. We usually just check, height, weight, size, speed, throwing ability, arm strength. You could keep going all the way to page 2, 3 of boxes to check, and it feels like he checks every one. I mean, So if you really start to wonder about why, or if you kind of forgot why everybody was so, oh my gosh, they might get Trevor Lawrence, this is just another example of why. I mean, he really is from a persona standpoint. Remember, we had Grace Rayner on last week, and she covered Clemson. And those folks that are close to Trevor Lawrence talk about the kind of individual he is, kind of leader he is, kind of teammate he is, more so than his football prowess, which I find interesting because usually we're like, yeah, whatever, throw that stuff in, as long as he can throw a football better than anybody else, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's what was a little bit lost, and excuse the comparison, but I think that's what a little is lost on, Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is a brilliant player. Mm-hmm. His arm strength, his athleticism, the no-look pass, right? He does stuff that people can't do. But I do think he also seems to check a lot of the off-the-field leadership, team first. I think there were even the reports when he made the $500 million deal at how he wanted to make sure he could craft that deal so he could keep other teammates around. I mean, that's like a 24, 25-year-old guy thinking that way. So don't lose sight of those kind of things. I'm probably over-dramatizing the Bobby Bowden Award that Trevor Lawrence just won. But
hey, you take what you can get right now.
But listen, I mean, we really haven't we haven't talked much Trevor in the last week. It's been all about the coaching.
Yeah.
And I think we need to be reminded about just how big of a prospect this guy is, but it's not just for the on-the-field football stuff. And as we've seen in the Jags locker room, there's something about off the field that's important, in that locker room that's important, and especially on the quarterback position. That will be something the Jags, you really wonder if they've ever had a guy like this in that sense.
Man, yeah, it's just you get this sense, and once again, I've never talked to Trevor Lawrence personally, but you just get this sense that the guy can't be rattled, right? I've seen him excited on the sidelines and celebrating as any football player should, but obviously when we're talking about this up-and-coming season, there's going to be adversity, okay? This team's not going undefeated. This team probably is not going to go to the playoffs. We'll see. So you're going to face some adversity. And what this next year is about, we talked about this past season, right? What was this past season about? Is Gardner Minshew the man, yes or no? Well, we answered that question. He's not the man going forward. He's going to be the backup, but he's going to be a great backup at that. To me, this year, this up-and-coming season, it's going to be the question of how does this team deal with adversity and move on? Right? Because you're starting anew. You're starting fresh. You're building a foundation. And even though you're starting fresh, you're starting new, the past will creep by you a little bit, right? People will still hold you accountable for things that you're not even supposed to be accountable for. For instance, the past decade of losing, some of that's going to fall on Trevor Lawrence's shoulders. Not saying he deserves it, but that's just the way the fan base is going to operate. So what I'm curious to see is, and what I think is going to happen with Trevor Lawrence is how he responds to adversity. And if we've seen his demeanor on the sidelines at Clemson, if we heard stories even back when he was in high school, it goes to show you that this is the man for the job. When it hits the fan a little bit, he's the guy that's going to keep everybody calm, collected, and able to move forward.
Yeah, I agree with you there, too. And I think that is the question. That's the question I'm diving into. And by the way, he almost can give me any answer he wants, and I'm still picking him. But it is that adversity question's a real one because he won so much, and a lot of things have gone well. Now, you could say, like COVID-19 and handling that. There's some other adversity that we don't know about probably too. But I think you're right on that. And my guess is this guy, he wants to win so bad, and that's all he knows, that the answer to that would be kind of what you expect. Yeah. But I think it's a fair question. I mean, the guy's only lost 6 games in his life.
Well, and let's be honest, though, Brent, if we look at some of the great quarterbacks now, of our time, let's talk about Tom Brady. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has the State Farm commercials, that Rodgers rate. But there was a time when Aaron Rodgers was first coming into the league. He was getting his first starts. He might have been the most boring interviewee ever. Right? And the same thing goes for Tom Brady. Now, eventually, you gain confidence, you get used to it, and you become the man. But my point is, they didn't start out where it was oh, this is a must-have interview. And even in Green Bay, when obviously it was the Brett Favre show, and then he passed the torch to Aaron Rodgers, there's stories there, right? There's intrigue there. And Aaron Rodgers really gave you nothing. Why? Because he was just kind of this calm, cool, collected, steady type of person. And I get the sense that Trevor Lawrence is the exact same way, right? So, when I say comparisons with, Baker Mayfield, right? Baker Mayfield, his rookie year, let's be honest, he did a lot of good things. But there's the sound bites, there's him calling out the media. At that time, Baker Mayfield's rookie year, I could have saw that and said, this guy's not going to pan out. Right, because he's too emotional. And I get it. Football is a very intense, physical, and emotional sport. But like I always say, you play the position that is the ultimate double standard. And you got to be the calm, cool, collected guy. So I'm not trying to compare Trevor Lawrence to Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady when they first got to town. But I'm just saying I like what I'm seeing so far, even when things haven't gone his way, the last press conference he took part of when they lost that game to Ohio State.
All right, we're going to take a final break. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed. There's some news that breaks out in the next 15 minutes, just for our show's sake, just for fun, for selfish ambition. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Are you like an oatmeal raisin cookie next? You going to announce that or what?
Yeah, whatever one works.
Yeah.
All right, so I ask you this. You think about this during the last break.
Hit me with it.
Aaron Rodgers is hosting Jeopardy, right?
I saw that.
Give me, outside of Aaron Rodgers, the sports figure you would like to see host Jeopardy.
Current or retired can it be as well?
Doesn't matter. Sports figure. So, okay. I don't care about that. So, when we come back, we'll have your answer. And one other thought in the NFL, did Chicago make the right decision bringing those guys back, the coaches? Mm-hmm. And by the way, they did not give them an extension. So, kind of lame duck status in Chicago. Is that the right move? We talk about it. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Hump Day. I'm Jake Mitchell. Former Jags head coach Gus Bradley has landed himself a new gig in Las Vegas as the defensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders. Remember, he helmed the Jaguars for 3 years. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers will probably be the NFL MVP this year, but that's not all. He'll also be a guest host of legendary TV show Jeopardy! He also appeared on the show as a celebrity contestant in 2015. Here he is talking about this year's 13-3 team versus last year's 13-3 team.
I feel like we have a lot of confidence this year. We believe in ourselves. Offensively, we're just a much better team than we were. We're a much more efficient team. That helps for sure. On the offensive side of the ball, last year we were just so up and down. I think that's been the biggest difference offensively is we're playing with a lot more confidence.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Happy New Year from the team at CGC Water. This new year, our gift to you is clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember this limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Special holiday financing still available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer. Have a happy, safe, and prosperous new year.
Hey, know when the best time to buy Christmas lights or artificial Christmas trees is? December 26th. Off-season rates are for real. It's the same for air conditioners. Believe it or not, January isn't a hotbed month for air conditioner sales. Because no one's AC is breaking down in this weather. So why am I telling you all this? Because I've already done all the extensive technical and customer service training for my AC techs. I hire the best and train them even better. That's why they can fix what others can't. And part of my promise to them is a steady 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. And right now, they ain't busy. I'm paying them like I promised, but I'd sure rather be sending them out on install jobs. So if your system's older or you'd like to upgrade it, now's the time. By mid to late February, we'll be busy again, scheduling and running spring tune-ups for all our loyal Club Griffin members. But now's the time for a deal. So ring us at griffinservice.com.
License number 1250697.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So, if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
In 2021, the new motto is Seize the Day. So you gotta go to Arlington Toyota, because their super low lease payments are gonna put a brand new Toyota in your driveway tonight. Right now at Arlington, lease a new 2021 RAV4 LE for just $224 a month, or lease a new 2021 Corolla LE for an amazingly low $127 a month. Seize the day and make 2021 yours in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/January for full details.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com, or call 245-8732.
You'll never
Never paint your house again. Call the coating man.
The only company who offers the world's best paint and the most advanced protective coatings on the market, guaranteed never to fade, chip, crack, or peel for as long as you own your home. Call for a free estimate by the end of the month and receive up to 40% off. Call 888-COAT-USA. That's 888-COAT-USA. Or visit their showroom, 2000 Wells Road.
Call the coating man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
One of my idols growing up was Alex Trebek, and being able to be on Jeopardy years ago, even though my wardrobe outfit wasn't the greatest choice.
No, it doesn't matter. Everybody's dress is very bad on that show.
They're doing some guest hosting spots, and it's going to be released here pretty soon. But I have the opportunity to do one of those.
Let's go! Did you watch Ken last night?
No, I didn't see Ken last night. I was watching some film and checked in on the college football championship as well for a little bit. But I'm excited about that opportunity with Jeopardy.
That is Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee's show, and he has him on all the time.
Yeah.
Rodgers is really good on that, man. I mean, that's pretty good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to host Jeopardy. And the question is, who else could, should, would, from a sports figure standpoint, host Jeopardy? Would you like I wouldn't have thought of Aaron Rodgers, like that. I like it. I don't mind it, but I just wouldn't have gone there. I would have probably said Peyton Manning before I would have said Aaron Rodgers.
Kyler Murray, legends like that. I get it.
Trevor
I get
Lawrence.
It. I get it. All right,
Trevor Lawrence.
He's still got to prove something first, Brent. Let's not get ahead of ourselves
not
here.
to us. Urban Meyer. None of the council members.
No, none of the council members, man. Nobody gets invited. No one gets that invite.
Anyway, so I've got a list of odds, but I want to just get your thoughts first. Who would be good?
So to me, two guys stick out in the realm of football. One retired, one still currently playing. The retired guy, and I just say this from a brand, and I say this because I was so impressed with how he acted in the new season of Westworld, Marshawn Lynch. Because obviously you got the preconceived notions of Marshawn Lynch, very quiet dude, keeps to himself. But then he was in this TV show called Westworld the last season, and he acted his butt off, man. Like it was good. It was really good, and I just think him being the character that he is, he would have fun with it. So I'm
Marshawn Lynch, by the way, plus 6,600 to be the next guy.
So he's on the board already.
Yep.
All right. So then check this out. The other guy I got to go with just because, and listen. He is the rare combination of smarts and personality and sense of humor. I'm not sure if you watched that new Ken Jennings show, The Chase, where it's like the past 3 Jeopardy contestants.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's horrible. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It's so bad because it kind of showcases the personality a little bit. And spoiler alert, probably the 3 smartest guys in the entire world don't have the best sense of humor. Go figure. But I think
not shocking.
Yeah, but I think Ryan Fitzpatrick would be fantastic on it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good call. Is he on my list? Oh, he is. He's plus 500.
Oh, I mean,
that's good.
Let's go then.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, so here's a couple of. Why is Hines Ward plus 300? He's the odds-on favorite. What is he up to right now? Is he?
I'm looking on Twitter.
Is he on some reality show or something? I mean, why is his name? Why would that be appealing?
I have no idea, man. I mean, I haven't heard of Hines Ward in forever, to tell you the truth.
I don't get it. Well, Tony Romo's the next, and then it's Manning, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Richard Sherman plus 800, Baker Mayfield plus 1,000, Drew Brees, Phil Simms, Alex Smith on here, Terry Bradshaw, Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts? God doesn't even know anything about the Jaguars. They told me that one time when I interviewed him. Eli Manning, Mark Rippon. Where are these guys coming? Why? Am I missing something here?
Am I in there? If Mark Rippon's in there, I got to be on that list. Where am
Luck,
I at?
Andrew Luck that'd be a great
that's
hey,
not bad.
Where's
Stanford
Andrew Luck
grad.
been, right?
Yeah, Stanford grad too. Mm-hmm.
That'd be O.J. Simpson is plus 7,500, by the way.
Everybody relax.
Hey, how about Kyrie Irving? This was all NFL based.
Well, no, I hear you. It's plus,
LeBron James.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you're not buying into the whole, if you're buying into the whole flat Earth thing, not sure if hosting Jeopardy is the best avenue for you. Let's just say.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, real quick, you surprised Chicago's bringing Nagy back and Pace?
Yeah,
Pace, right?
yeah, Ryan Pace. Yeah, you know what it kind of seems like to me? It seems like the Jaguars of 2 years ago, basically, where they're trying to make this more appealing because I don't see those guys retaining their jobs, especially with what they have right now. Yes, I understand Mitch Trubisky just won the MVP, Nickelodeon Most Valuable Player, but there has to be more to it than that, man. And I feel like what they have right now, they're not going to be successful.
All right, hey, one more theory, okay, on next head coach, whether it's Urban Meyer or not. Are the Jags going to get in an interesting time here? If they don't have like a news conference about this on Thursday or Friday, well, then you go to the weekend and you're not going to do it then because the NFL's playing.
Sure.
And you're not going to do it Monday most likely, I think, because of Martin Luther King Day. I don't think you would. Tuesday's an opening, but then Wednesday's the inauguration. So, like, if they don't have a press conference right now, we don't even know of anything, so I doubt tomorrow's a press conference. If it doesn't happen Friday, I guess Tuesday would be an option. But might not have this thing nailed down for another week.
Don't say that, Brent. Don't. See, why are you putting those kind of energies and those vibes out there in the universe?
Well, that will give you time to break down the whole James Harden trade.
That's a good point. Yeah, tune in tomorrow, everybody. Hey, I'm just saying, you better hope that Urban Meyer does not get revealed on AEW. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, I understand it's like a 1 in a million chance, but if he does, I'm telling you right now, Brent Martineau, I will be insufferable tomorrow. Just go ahead and sleep in. Don't even show up tomorrow.
Live, local, loud coming up next on ESPN 690. I'll see you on TV tonight, CBS 47, Fox 30. Thanks for the Lot J discussion. If you missed any of it, check out the podcast, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Have a good night.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide